Hello, welcome to honest-wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and it's Monday night, which means it's party night. But unfortunately, Mr. Nathan Prescott is not here today because he messaged me and said, I refuse to talk about Tzeentch, you bastard. He actually said, no, fuck you. And
I'm not talking about Tzeentch. Get somebody who knows what they're talking about.
And so I hired an old man, which if you ever played Warhammer Fantasy Battle, you may have heard of him, Mark Wildman.
Where do people hear of me from, Rob?
I don't know. My other shows?
Sure.
Well, thank you for being here. It's actually great to see you. I've missed you, and Happy New Year.
And you, baby.
Oh, thanks. Right, I just want to say hello to everyone in the Twitch chat, which, Mark, you can see now. You're
I
excited
can.
about the fact you can see
I was. How much back? It's not. Might not last the whole journey. This iPhone, I'm watching it off.
I want to say hello to everyone who's subscribed. Overdrive Active, Arkian, oh, what up? 26 months, bruv. Mostin Power and Dadhammer CG. I hope you're doing well. Just the Stars, Rob, thanks for today's noob show. Really enjoyed it. Many things. So if you haven't been keeping track, Mark, we're now doing a daily live show, which also
I
goes
saw
out
that
as
on
a
the
podcast.
internet. Yeah.
So I did the first one today. I think it was quite fun. So yeah. And everyone who's on Patreon gets to choose the subjects. How do you feel about that news?
Wacky. That's out there.
I'm going to put my hat on and tell you to fuck off. Right, so we're going to find out how Mark is, and we're going to find out how all you guys in the Twitch chat are. I hope you're well. Today's subject is going to be 100%, which is going to be taking our first run through of the Tzeentch Battletome, Disciples of Tzeentch. So that's the subject today. We'll hit some news really quickly as well.
Okay.
But Mark, how have you been? What's been going on?
Full of cold, illness.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm sorry, that's boring.
That is sad. Yeah.
I'll talk hobby instead of like my own woes. Painting, Space Marines, because we all like talking about Space Marines in this channel, don't we? No, but I've also been painting some Slaves of Darkness.
Have you?
Being the long-term Tzeentch player turned Khorne, I thought maybe I started doing a bit of Nurgle.
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah, but I'm potentially doing Plague Touched for Sheffield Slaughter. So I'm just doing a very washed army. It's not very good, not to my normal standards I like, but yeah, I'm quite excited by it, actually. Trigger people playing Plague Touched.
Yeah, well, I think it's genuinely valuable now, but we can talk more about that later.
Yeah, sure, man.
Interesting. So I want to say thank you to Jim Brewer's bro. Which is that Jim Brewer or Jim Brewer's bro? I'm confused. Mr. Tzeentch and Get to the Chopper for subscribing. All of you are great. I want to say also thank you to everyone on the honest-wargamer Patreon. Thank you for supporting the show. Don't forget, at time of recording, it's 20 days to CanCon. Very exciting. So join us for the live.
That's a long way away, isn't it? As in like distance.
Yeah,
I saw it on a map.
It's a 28-hour flight for me. That's not including the 4 hours down to Heathrow, the 3 hours waiting for the actual flights. So it's a good
an extra 4 hours avoiding fire.
Like number one, anyone who's in Australia, big love to you, and I
man,
hope you're
that's
okay.
bonkers, isn't it?
You're already the most hated man in Age of Sigmar in Australia. Why are you making it worse?
It is pretty bonkers though. That fire. It's the
TO and the organisers of CanCon have actually hired some industrial air cleaners for the venue, which is amazing, because the air quality there is so bad that it's unbreathable. Hilariously, last year I lost my voice when I was there, so maybe we're going to see a return to form. But that's okay, because there's an incredible crew. You've got Gemma from the Failed Charge, you've got Nick Hohen from the Dwellers Below, you've got Vince Ventrella from Warhammer Weekly. That's just some of the people helping with the live stream. It's a pretty
exciting. So, wasn't there? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a charity raffle for the CanCon?
Yes,
for an army thing.
Yeah, yes.
It's kind of why
the Heralds of War. Clinto himself, the Warhammer hero that he is, he put an army a group of him put an army up for auction, and that army has been auctioned for $1,600, and all of it's gone to help fight.
Is it all gone now? Because I saw it, and I was going to put some money towards it, but I thought.
Well, I think I'm going to eyeball it, but I think maybe this weekend there's potential for organising a 24-hour charity fundraiser stream. So I'm just seeing whether or not I'm free for it, aka can I get permission? Right. Get to the chopper. Thanks for joining Patreon. Because then that would be cool, and then we could try and organize people from all around the world and do because the big Warhammer community, all of them together. And I know that there's a whole bunch of people over there trying really hard to fight the fires. Charles Black's doing a bunch of stuff, and so I hope everyone there is okay, right?
There we go. Painted by Travers from Herald's. It is.
Yeah, Travis.
Did I say Travis or Travers?
It's Travis, but did you say Travers?
I can't remember. I'm still recovering. I'm delirious.
Okay.
So whatever I say tonight, don't take it with any validity whatsoever.
All right, good. Well, that's
Great start.
That's actually the asterisk I put on every show I do.
It's true. I'm at home then. I thought it was important to mention that because I thought anything charity organisation that our community does should always be pointed out as something like super impressive and important.
Absolutely.
So,
which is why I think it would be great to be able to organise a thing together for Australia. I'm sure we wouldn't raise anywhere near enough to actually deal with the problem. We might buy
Hollywood's made millions, haven't they? I saw it on
Pink
news
donate
today.
$500,000.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Should we just do like a chat stream? Just like you and me, like, how you been?
I'm sure people love that.
I think people would. Battletome, how you doing? Happy New Year, bro. Happy New Year, you lovely people. 24 months in a row. And Doom King Tristan, thank you also for subscribing for 14 months in a row. I think I've got a button for when Tristan turns up. Press that button, it does that thing. All right, so should we talk about some news?
Sure.
Well, there's been some pretty major news this weekend. Obviously, we've had the launch of the Tzeentch Battletome, and we've had the launch of the Character and Overlords Battletome. There has been some conversations about how those two Battletomes are. Interestingly, I don't know if you know about Man Who Reads Book. Do you know of him? So there's an incredible guy called Ash, and everything I'm saying now is I have a very insincere tone as a person, but I'm intending to say this sincerely. Ash does a really good job of reading the book out, which he gets an advanced copy of. So I nicknamed him Man Who Reads Book because he reads the book out, which I think is great.
Okay.
Yeah, he's our hero because at pre-order time, every time, so Friday night, pre-order, Man Who Reads Book to us. And we all sit there with our cocoa, wrapped up warm in Australia, in the aircon.
You make him sound like a caveman, to be fair. Man who reads book. Or like a native Indian. What's your name? Man who reads book.
Man who reads book. But now, interestingly, what we've always wanted is someone to just transcribe that for us all, because we're all super lazy and none of us can all be watching it. And now exists Man Who Writes Book.
Right, okay.
And so I would like to say...
Was that his sister? Man who...
I don't know who it is. But I would just like to... Yes, he is the best reviewer out. Thank you. Absolutely. He read that book well, A+. I love the artwork segue too. He's fantastic. But now we've got Man Who Writes Book, and then we've been able to read that. That's what I sent you.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I got that. Okay.
And so we've been been able to read, so we're able to do the review.
Is your name Man Who Whinges About Book?
No, because we're going to talk about the Tzeentch Battletome, and I actually think it's amazing. So there you go, which is good because we've got you on for two reasons. One, you're a big fan of the Tzeentch. Yeah.
I am.
Two, you like Archeon.
Yes.
And three, it's got loads of Beastmen in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Beast of Chaos came out and I said it was Battletome Zangor? And
you were right.
You and Dan went to prove that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what?
Well, you went to prove it, and then Dan helped you.
Stole it.
Stole your power.
We've got this long-running joke that still goes on, and do you know this is a year ago?
Into the mic, not over the mic.
Oh Jesus Christ! Fuck you now. Do you know a year ago? This was a year ago. This happened.
Yeah.
TM Listgate.
Yeah.
And only last week my friend messaged me and says, what was in that list that Dan stole from you? And I screenshotted it and sent it to my mates and Dan in the group chat with Dan. Yeah. I was like, I
don't know. I'm not sure you can do that anymore. You can tell he was previously a podcaster. The live video that he does is outrageous.
What, I can't do this anymore? Oh, that's off screen. What am I doing?
Well, you can see now. I'm really happy you can see. Hi, K-Dread, Grobda. So I just want to say hello to everyone on the Twitch chat. Reflex Dog Training Painting. I want to say Warp Spider and C3ROO. Thanks for subscribing. Oscar's Paints is here. Velatron, Full Greener. We've got a full house. Vangelis. It's going to get real. Okay, so there's the 2 Battletomes that got announced, but then Games Workshop were like, that's not all.
No.
There are elves, but they've got pointy ears.
Yes.
Pointy-eared elves. They're making a return. Techless elves. They said is in the spring.
Yeah.
So,
I really love the black image. If that is Techless, because that is just going back to his original iconic model of his sword and his spear in that same position. If that's him, of course, it might not be him. We don't know. But if it is him, it'll look cool. It's sweet as. Yeah. I reckon so.
I think it's 100% going to be Techless.
But I do like that. What I liked about that advert was they're just sort of taking the mickey out of themselves a bit. Sort of, I like historically, I've always thought Games Workshop was a little bit overly serious. I've been talking about over the past few years. But
they've been pretty light-hearted the past few years.
Oh yeah, no. But that's what I'm saying. I like it.
Look at some of the FAQ updates. They've been nothing but a joke.
They just don't know where to. They just don't know where to stop. Yeah. They're really good with the videos. I know. What about these?
We meme our own. We take our game system and make it its own meme.
Yes.
You
know all this money that you spend on all these books. Let's just make it more jokes.
Let's sell them for 40k. You'll only need 1 book, but secretly, just a Space Marine book.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true. Space Marine add-on book.
Oh, I need to say a congratulations to Dadhammer CG is in the chat as he got married yesterday.
What day is it today? It's Monday, isn't it?
It's a Monday, but it's his Monday yesterday because he's Australian.
Struth.
Crikey, Cobber! I can't bloody believe it.
Who got married? Who got married on a Monday?
Retasanti, thanks for subscribing. Hi all. Now you can vote whether or not you think that this the book that we're going to talk about in a bit is good. You can see a poll right there on screen if you just type in ! I can't remember what it is. Streamlabs will tell you. But Pointy Elves, is everyone excited? I just saw Fulgreamer say fuck yes. Are you excited about Pointy Elves?
My only concern is we're going to fall into new book, limited model range. And I know it's got this whole like longevity thing, everything like that, like the eels and everything like that. The model range isn't massive.
People don't really know the story if you don't explain it out. What do you mean?
So the amount of different models you get in a new book. So when a new book comes out, let's say like the Corn book. What's that?
That's okay. It made a noise. I'm sorry. Carry on. When the Corn book came out,
you get distracted easily, don't you?
Yeah.
ADHD. The Corn book came out. You've got loads and loads of models. It's an old book, isn't it? But then when the eels came out, the IDNF, you had like a shark, a big turtle, and an eel, and a seahorse. It was like effectively 4 models you could have in your army. I'm just in the new one, the Bone Reapers. Yeah. You got a skeleton on a foot, a skeleton on a horse, a bit of artillery.
Well, they are an army made completely out of skeleton bones.
Yeah, but
so you can't be like half-assed with the. You're like skeleton on a horse. It's not actually a skeleton on a horse. It's actually a skeleton on another skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the skeleton on a horse and a skeleton not on a horse is actually just a skeleton, just in a different form. So it's actually just one model.
Or skeletons.
Or skeleton. I don't know.
Do you ever get annoyed by the people who say Skellington?
Me and Gareth, that's my other half, we say Skellington because it's obviously not the way you say it, but we say Skellington because it's the wrong way of saying it. It's quite entertaining.
And then do that special face you did earlier.
Skellington, oh yeah.
Cool Trap, thanks for subscribing. Hope you're good. Well, I think they're exciting. You could say I can't wait to be illuminated by the light elves.
They could be really evil though. They're going to be evil, aren't they? Because there's, they don't want to do nice, fluffy things, are they? Techless was a baddie though, really. Techless sent in the old world. Didn't Techless send? What was his name?
Techless unleashed Slanesh.
Yeah.
In an attempt to destroy Slanesh, but that didn't work out. Stole the white fire from Wulfric, which led to Valton dying. Yeah, the old world is. I can't wait. To release
and also
game.
he said Tyrion wasn't allowed to go and kill Arcan or whatever, or was it Manfred? I can't remember which one it was, to summon Nagash because he needed that other dude. I can't remember his name to go. Who wasn't a true prince or something like that? You might remember this. He sent the wrong person to die basically.
Okay.
Because he knew Tyrion would do it.
Oh right. Okay.
No, that's what it was. I think. This is how certain I'm going to be. There was not the daughter of the Ever Queen, but actually it was Tyrion's daughter, so it wasn't a true Ever Queen. So that was like Nagash's.
Nope. So sorry.
I'm really put on the spot here. I'm doing my research. How do I know we were talking about this? But basically, Teclis is...
Well, it's the news.
Yeah, Teclis is a dick. So,
can I just say...
Somebody will correct me in the chat.
Well, no, he sacrificed Tyrion's daughter, didn't he, says Archean, which he did do.
Yes.
Dan Hammer CG says Teclis was the third wheel to Araloth and Lilith's relationship, lol. He's kind of, if you've ever seen New Girl... He's kind of the Winston Bishop of the old world.
I have no idea what those words mean.
This is really accurate. I need you to get on board with this. You kind of like Tyrion, yeah, was kind of the Jessica Day of...
Still don't know the words you're saying.
Okay.
I can't piece them together to form an opinion.
The Warhammer New Girl crossover there was right on, I promise you.
You've got support in the chat.
Krug, I don't know how to say this, so Kriegerit, I'm so stoked about Pointy Elves, I might be tipping point for getting into AOS. Well, I hope you do, because it's a great game and the community is amazing. A poll is going on for, is this book top tier? It is. Teclis and Cat. Yes, Speckles. Yes. Also, hi, I miss you. I support this comparison. Good. And Lee Bromley, what up? Thanks for subscribing. Lee Bromley in the house. All right, so that's the news. There is...
Oh, you missed another bit in the news.
Tell me.
The new Archeon, like, what's it called?
Oh, yes. Oh,
is that
I'm
as
so
well?
Sorry. Cold Trap, thanks for donating 500 bits to the show. So there's a campaign book coming out.
Is that ditching malign sorcery, do you reckon? And moving the sort of timeline on a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you've actually, I assume every Battletome that's coming out every week that you've been doing, you've kept up with all the narrative, you've seen that it's ongoing, right?
I'm a font of all knowledge.
Yeah. So it's currently a war between the OCR Bone Reapers. So they say it's going to be a campaign book between the OCR Bone Reapers and the Safe Darkness.
Yes.
For the all points, which if you don't know, I'm sure most people do, but if you don't, is the point in between the realms where Archeon has his kind of black citadel. And originally it was Nagash giving up the all points, which effectively led to the Chaos victory.
Because Archeon kills Nagash every time.
In the game or in the story? Story.
Archeon always gives it to Nagash, and Nagash always gets taken away by his Morghosts.
Yeah, he's just like has a little Mardy, doesn't he?
Archeon just goes, go away. I've got the Slayer of Kings.
-2 rend.
You were, baby. And that whippy dude making you re-roll those dice. It weren't for that dude with a whip.
So, so there's that. They've said that there's loads of narrative options. They've also said that there is the option that there's going to be some more Slaves to Darkness rules in there. So even more chaosy
It's
stuff.
weird, isn't it?
Do you think it is? I quite like a campaign book because it's currently happening in 40k, but it's really extended. So I'm not a huge fan of it, as you know, with the Faith and Fury thing and Psychic Awakening. But I do like the idea of a book where all of us get new rules, kind of like we did with Malign Sorcery and kind of like we did with Forbidden Power. It's pretty rad. It's fun. I like it when we could all be excited, because some people today would be like, Tzeentch, fuck yes! And some people are like, Light Elves, yes! Like, someone asked me today, were you excited? And I'm like, the only good elf is a dead elf.
Wow.
That's a fact.
It's a bit racist.
No, I'm a dwarf player. Like, even if they're evil dwarves...
You're not a dwarf player. When have you last played dwarfs?
Literally 2 days ago.
No, they're not dwarfs. They're not real. I thought we'd come to this as a consensus as a community.
One book a year that progresses the narrative is great. I agree.
Yeah, it's good. I find it a little bit odd, the fact you've got the new Warriors of Chaos book comes out, and then you've got Archeon on the front cover of the next book. Whether or not it's a timing thing, I don't know. But it just seemed Archeon. Oh, there's another book out. I saw it and thought, oh, they've just released an Archeon book. Oh, we're getting another one, are we? And update that quickly.
I like the idea of them doing campaign books and having additional. I don't want there to be too much, because we do have a lot of rule bloat. So I don't want there to be anything like more artifacts from different realms or anything like that. I would prefer if there was just some battalions in there, rad. Maybe a kind of legions like you've had with Legion of Grief. Just like a random supplement, a little cool Chaos Legions, like sweet, that's rad. But I don't think I'd like to see any, like for the gaming system, don't think I'd like to see anything additional. But I know that the Neos are super excited, which is great, and all those guys can just like have the best time ever, which is rad. I know 2+ Tough Doug can just be making another sweet ass lore video, and just telling us all about it. So that's great. So I'm all up for those. But rules wise, I don't want them to be any more bloat.
I just think there's going to be a lot of bloat. I'm not. I don't have much faith in No More Bloat.
You don't?
No, I just think there's going to be a lot more to come.
Get the Chopper.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too. Get the Chopper says, hoping for an Archeon on foot, but I know I'll be disappointed. Interestingly, Archeon can't really. Well, he might be able to narratively now, but Archeon shouldn't ever really get off Drogbar because he's one of the artifacts of the Everchosen. So his crown, his sword, his shield, his armor, and his mount, the things that he had to acquire in the old world to become the Everchosen. Did you know that part of the story? Yeah, five like artifacts of the Everchosen,
right.
And he was the only one to get them all. So there's the Eye of Ed Sheeran, Shield of whatever, Sword of Smashing Kings, Drogbar, then the armor of Morkalek or Morkai or whatever.
So I thought he got the dragon thing, the three-headed dragon in the new world, not the old.
Well, it's still the same because it was a demonic mount. Drogbar, I think that's right. It was
the horsey, the old horsey.
Was the old horse was still a demonic mount.
Oh,
so now the demonic mount is just
got made better.
Yeah. Which why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're upgrading.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Let's get
Get with the times, Mr. Woke.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it Archeon's gone all woke?
He's not the only one. Into the they're like, how does he poo into the Nurgle's head? But like a porta potty. Oh dear. All right. Oh wait, there's a vote on the new book so far. 66% of the people think it's a good book. Should we get onto it?
Sure.
Let's get into it. So, I'm painting up my Archeon at the moment. I don't know if you've seen me.
I saw. I don't know if it was an incredibly blurry picture, but it looked quite good.
Wow. I mean, there's so many things to unpack about that. Like, how rude is that?
Unpack it all now. You've got all the time in the world.
Well, you saw that I put it on a like a modular base, like a
it looks awesome.
What do they call it when it's a bunch of different like a diorama?
Yeah,
kind of diorama because it's the Archeon. I thought I'd take my
like
time to things. I put some Stormcast on there. I've got
I saw that. Yeah,
Fleshhound, a Corn, and a Griffhound fighting each other. Just trying really hard. It's in there. I'll show you later.
I will see. I want to look at it.
I'm trying really hard. Anyway, right, let's go on with it. Tzeentch. Yeah? Mark the Beastman in the house. He knows what he's about.
I played Tzeentch when the first book first came out and didn't realise how good it was when I went to a tournament. Never played a game with it. And was on table one.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
nearly won the tournament. Never really had any major practice games with it. What?
Okay.
So like historically, hasn't Tzeentch had a real rough ride of being like a hero to zero overnight book?
Well, let's talk about it. So the Tzeentch book, like a bit of history leading up to this, when the very first Tzeentch book came out, which there's only been two, the old one and the new one. Before there was points, there used to be a magical gunline army, which is pretty horrific, which is why you could only cast Arcane Bolt once. But then when the book came out, it was like, okay, Skyfires are like 120 points. This is dumb. And then that was the game. And we saw Joe Purcell almost win.
And he's really bad at Warhammer.
We saw him almost win the South Coast GT with 27 Skyfires, which was a meme. I think everyone had, and he was battling against more Skyfires.
Yeah.
Just not as many. And then that tailed off, and then out of the ashes of I think a points hike on the Skyfires came Change Host.
Yes.
And the destructive nature of what was Change Host. But that really only came into effect as of AOS 2 when it was all free summoning. And now it was just stupid. It was just like, this is horrible.
See, interestingly,
actually before AOS 2, because you had Lords of Change on Balewinds, you had them Change hosting, because then it got FAQ'd, like you could just basically teleport anywhere on the board. Then it got FAQ'd, you couldn't do that. Like you could have the Changeling. You could put him in the opponent's army.
Yeah, it was changing. Yeah.
Then you're in your opponent's army, just doing everything, and then you put him on a Balewind, and you're like, "Fuck you!" And it was. And I think Tony Moore took out one of the Warhammer World Heats with the Change Host, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have it.
It's interesting. The Tzeentch list I was running was a mix of both. It was never chain. I never ran Chain Ho. I always ran either the Skyshell Coven or the Zangor Coven, and weirdly, that a lot of the times that beat the Change Host. Because the Change Host couldn't do enough damage to the Zangor and the Enlightened and everything else in the list. But I think holistically, the Change host could win tournaments where my army would struggle to beat some other armies in the system, where the Change host could, technically kill anything with more wound output and shenanigans and stuff like that. So it wasn't, I never saw it, because at the time I never saw the change host as that bad, because my army wasn't that bad against it, because my army was so fast it didn't really matter. But it is what it is, isn't it?
And then it became a bit of a loser. It dropped down off the,
because they just absolutely destroyed the points, didn't they?
Yeah, well, that it was that kind of that Gestalt conversation where everyone assumes it, but not necessarily true. And there were some still diehard Tzeentch players, and they were still doing fairly well with it. As Pete is saying in the chat, I played with Change Host at the first Six Nations. I used to be a real jerk. And then there was also the Zangor build. So before the Beast of Chaos book, where Zangor Enlightened became super strong, you had the huge blocks of Zangor.
Yeah.
30 Zangor. They used to be crazy good. You could make them run, charge, you just auto.
It was the +1 attack for each lot of 9.
Yeah, every 9 plus, so you could end up with an extra 3
So
attacks.
the damage output was bonkers.
Absolutely unreal. So that was crazy. Then the points got changed in the Beast of Chaos book. Enlightened became really good, and then they got used inside Tzeentch armies as well. But it was really with the release of the End of Spells, the End of Spells, crazy summoning, that Tzeentch players really were like, I could start to do some stuff. And we've seen them do a lot of move blocking. There's been a lot of Change Host armies, a lot of move blocking. That's generally how we've seen the Tzeentch armies play up till now. So, great question about it. I should do that in the future. How, Courage and Overlords one will be easy. It was one boat, one trick. And now it's lots of boats, one trick. Right, okay. So that's the history lesson over with, if that's not too boring. I hope not. Right, let's go. Oh, moved my bloody thing. Let's go look at the unit, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah?
My screen is a bit fuzzy.
That's because it's got a low latency, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But you can bring these up on your phone if you want. Right, so let's talk about the sub-factions first. So we're talking about the Tzeentch Battletome now, in its current edition, and we're going to talk about the sub-factions. And I've listed the sub-factions in what I think to be best to worst. So Mark, as the guest, would you like to go worst to best or best to worst?
Let's start off with worst.
Okay.
Go backwards.
All right, that's fun.
Things can only get better.
Things can only... So, in my opinion, the worst is the Profane Cult. Yeah? So this is your ability that you get. So this is sub-faction ability.
Yep.
So you can, if you do decide to choose one of these sub-factions... I should probably talk about the main allegiance abilities first.
Yeah, I
would. Sorry. So you've got Destiny dice, same as before.
Yep.
9 dice that you roll at the start of the game, and you can use them to pick a result. You've got Locus of Change. This is an amazing change. This is crazy. Sorry, I'm quite excited. I've been on my own all day. -1 to hit for from melee for demon units wholly within 12 inches of a demon hero.
It's very Tzeentch.
It's super Tzeentch, but it also means now Zangor Enlightened went up. Enlightened on disc went up to 180 points. But they're now -1 to hit if you put Shaman behind them, which has already given them +1 to hit. So -1 to be hit, including Geminids. There are some other minuses to hit in the army.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks for subscribing. Then it's amazing. Also on those horror blobs, which we're going to see a lot of. We'll get to those in a bit. Also incredibly good. So really scary. Really, really good. Huge, I think, actually. If you're looking at it's wholly within 12, so it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It's not a huge range. But if you're looking at...
It's one of those, what I like about the wholly within 12, though, I think the Beastman book did it really badly, because they just said wholly within 6, so you never got to use that ability. But the point is, wholly within 12 or 18, it gives you a little bit of leeway charging things off or keeping a big unit sort of bubbled a little bit better. So I think I do like the wholly withins, because they're, it gives a bit of limitation.
So someone's just told me that Zangor and Disc are no longer demons, so I'm just going to double check that before we go any further. That'd be upsetting.
Has my app not been updated?
Your app?
Are they not on an app?
No, they're not on the app. They're on the web store. So Tzeentch, Arcanite, Zangor. No, they're no longer... interesting. They're no longer demons. Is the Zangor Shaman on Disc a demon? Arcanite. He's also not a demon as well. Okay, nice. All right, good shouts. Thank you very much. So yeah, so those enlightened are worse. Fuck you. I'm really happy about that.
Have they still got the same amount of attacks?
Yeah, they're the same apart from that. Yeah, and that means you've lost fold reality as well. So that's actually a really big change.
Do you think the interesting thing is, in reality, I've very rarely used that fold reality spell anyway on them.
I think it's better in pink horrors anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I even on pink horrors now, maybe.
Well, no, kind of. We'll see. Anyway, so -1 to hit in close combat, excellent. So, and you can't use a Zangor Shaman now to follow up behind. You've got to use an actual Tzeentch demon. And then they've got the change covens. So any army you can choose to be a coven. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And then also you can do summoning, which is you generate fate points by casting a spell or your opponent casting a spell.
Yeah, so that's the same.
That's the same.
Yeah.
And then you can summon all of the things that you could summon before. Their summoning isn't as stupid as... their summoning is fine in terms of is summoning even fine? Sure, their summoning's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it's not pointed badly.
It should just be something that you can pull out the trigger like at the end of the game or something like the corn summoning. It kind of lets me win games, but I've got to pay a lot to get it, and I've never felt the corn summoning has been too bad.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, the corn summoning is really good. I think it's one of the best versions of summoning. Right.
I still hold up that corn is probably one of the, maybe not all the mortal points. I still got a B in my bonnet about that, but as a book, it's still probably one of the best. But anyway, that's another subject. On to Tzeentch. Don't talk about that. Bloodthirsty.
Right, so they've got a special new thing now called agendas.
Yes, they look cool. I like those.
At Hero Phase, you can announce an agenda and you cannot repeat. Yeah, so you can have Mass Conjuration, which you pick one wizard, cast 2 spells with an unmodified 9+ without it being unbound, and you'll get +1 to cast for the rest of the game. I don't think that's particularly good.
Can Lord of Change have it?
Yeah, Lord of Change can have it.
You just Destiny dice it.
You could, but I don't think you need to. Is my point. And it's an unmodified 9, so you'd have to use like a 5 twice or something.
Yeah.
Right. Ninefold Dismantlement. Pick one enemy unit that
No,
has...
because Lord of Change matches.
Yeah, I know they flipped it. Yeah. They've actually... Lord of Change has got better. There's some changes to them. It's really interesting. Ninefold Dismantlement. Pick one enemy unit that has 9 or more models. Destroy that unit in the same turn. You get +1 to hit in melee for the unit that completed it. Pretty good if you've got some mobile combat, like Skyfires, as an example. They're the better combat because you can reroll to hit and reroll to wound.
Yeah.
And then you've got Overthrow Leaders. Pick one enemy hero or monster with 9+ wound characteristic. Kill it in the same turn, +1 to save for the unit that completed it. Imagine letting Archeon choose that.
It's alright.
That's right, yeah. Reckless Abandon. Start of the charge phase. Pick one friendly unit 9 inches from enemy units. Complete a charge and +1 attack to all of their melee weapons. So you do have... like some ways to maybe like buff blocks of Zangor or do some really cool things.
Yeah.
Tides of Anarchy, friendly unit of 9+ models gains control of an objective that was controlled by an opponent at the start of the hero phase. The models count as 2. But you have to control the objective. But like, they'll count for 2 as the rest of the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So any of those take your fancy? Twitch chat and Mark?
They're all like... I think they're really cool, really situational. I love the idea. It's kind of like their own little missions because it's just what Tzeentch do. They just go off on their own little tangent. I really like it.
Yeah. I'd like to see Eshin for Skaven get something similar, like all the kind of nefarious.
Yeah.
And also, if you compare that with what you're able to get in the Cities of Sigmar for the pirate cult, you're like, oh god, the pirate one sucks so much more. Like.
Here we go. Is it just a bit more rules bloat?
No, I think that's fine. I actually think that's a really fun mechanic.
Yeah.
And it was also gonna. I think it's gonna play very much into you playing a Tzeentchian player because then he's gonna kill a unit and he's gonna go +1.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, you crafty devil.
That's how people respond to that. You're getting what?
Yeah, what? Right, so then you got the covens. So those are the overarching. I think the biggest one, obviously, there. Destiny Dice is still the same broken mechanic it's ever been.
I like it though.
Okay.
But I played Tzeentch, so...
But the -1 to hit is huge, especially when we start talking about horrors and all the other bits in the game. Because arguably some of the strongest parts from this book are all the demon elements.
Which they always lacked when you looked at, how many demons do you ever take previously, historically speaking? You took horrors,
which are demons, and a Lord Change, which are demons.
Yeah, but you're missing Screamers, you're missing
Demons.
Chariots. No, nobody took them.
Oh, right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
Flamers, Exotic Flamers, nobody took them.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying. There was a time when Flamers were scary, though. Do you remember?
Yeah, but they're a bit like...
Yeah, okay, well, if it makes you feel any better, they're scary again.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Because I've got some painted and I want to use them.
All right, well, you're going to need maybe 12.
I've only got 3. God damn it.
God damn it. All right, so the cults, right? So the change covens. So in my opinion, the worst one, is the Pyrophane cult. So the ability that you get, so all your army, +1 to hit with Sorcerer's Bolts by Carrick Acolyte unit.
Yeah.
In addition, at the end of your shooting phase, roll a dice for each enemy unit that suffered any wounds from Sorcerer's Bolts. On a 5+, that unit suffers D3 more wounds. Now it's 100 points for 10 Carrick Acolytes, and they have got better. Should we go and look at the Carrick Acolytes War Scroll so we can talk about it?
Sure. Isn't it a Carrick?
Carrick?
A Carrick?
Acrylic?
Carrick?
Let me just read the other things. In your shooting phase, pick one Carrick Acolyte unit holding within 12 inches of a friendly hero. Reroll wound rolls for that unit until the end of the phase. So you can reroll their shooting to wound.
Yeah.
Their command trait for the character, because you obviously have to take a command trait for your general, -1 to hit from missile attacks, pretty good. And then artifact, if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with a missile weapon by the bearer is a 6, the attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds, and the attack sequence ends. So pretty rubbish. Happy New Year, Whippy Sticks. Happy New Year to everyone who's in here. Anyway, so Kerry Keralites, I can't believe we're talking about them first, because that's not what I prepped, because they're the worst.
But it's an interesting change, because nobody ever took them, because they were just Dross, even though they got their points for Dross.
Well, they're wizards now.
Yeah, that's why I hear.
Yeah, so they move 6, they've got a 5-up save, and they've got 1 wound each. But their Sorcerer's Bolt, which is what we're here to talk about, is 1 attack each, hits on a 4, wounds on a 3, rend nothing, and does 1 damage. They've got Arcanite shields.
Wounding on a 3-up is a. They used to be 4s and 4s.
And now with a reroll, if you wanted to, with a command ability, so you could be re-rolling. So your block you'll have 30 shots for 300 points. If you took 30, you could be hitting better than on 2s anyway, and you could be re-rolling to wound with no rend at the minute, and you could potentially be doing D3 more wounds.
It's just if you hit at
you'll
least
have one 5-up dice roll for D3 more wounds. So it's not, hey pal, how you doing? You're a wizard now, Carricks. That's what they are. They've been called up to Hogwarts. They've been trained. So they've got a shield, Arcanite shield, on a roll of 6. The wound or mortal wound is negated. When you allocate wounds or mortal wounds to this unit, you must allocate to the model arm with the Arcanite shield if it's possible to do so. So they've got a 6-up DPR. You've got a pair of cursed blades. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks made with if you have a pair of cursed blades. And in close combat, they've got 1 attack each, 4s, 3s, no rend, and 1 damage. And then they're a wizard. Now they can only cast their spell. They can't cast endless spells, can't cast anything else, and it's cast on a 9. It's not cast on a 9. They have to have 9 or more models in the unit. And this is the same as Pink Horrors as well. And their spell is cast on 6, which is a friendly Carrick Acolytes unit holding within 9 inches of it. They get +1, improve the rend characteristic of this unit Sorcerer's Bolt by 1. So +1 rend. So they do have rend. And also, if they've got a Scroll of Dark Arts in the unit, they can add +1 to their casting and unbinding rolls, because they can also unbind. And they've got a Volcrack. 1 in every 10 models in this unit can be accompanied by a Volcrack. If an enemy wizard successfully casts a spell within 18 inches, on a 4+, the wizard suffers 1 mortal wound after the effects of the spell have been resolved.
That got a bit better as well. It used to be 5.
So these are still absolutely trashed here. Like, they suck. If that makes you feel any better.
There's an improvement.
There's an improvement, which is great. It's like when they made the Eidolons for the Eidolon Deepkin better. But cheaper, sorry. But not cheap enough.
Yeah. But it's an interesting thing that they've got. I mean, the problem is, so with these new with these new books, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you look at the War Scroll, but it's how you can then stack them with other things within the book. Which is the whenever I get a new book, I'm like, oh, look at the War Scroll, and I'm going, but then it's actually how you can utilize it elsewhere.
Well, which is why we're talking about it, because inside this, they're going to be able to reroll to wound, because this is the thing designed for them, right?
Yeah.
And even with all of their bonuses they're still pretty rubbish, truth be told.
Shame, because they're great looking models as well.
They are. They have a great personality. So that's the Pyrophane Cult. I'm not really rating that at all. Now, in fifth place, and is the Cult of Transient Form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this was always in the old book.
So the abilities, so the sub-faction ability you get is you roll dice each time a friendly Carrick Acolyte model is slain in the combat phase.
Yeah.
On a 2 to 5, it can fight before being removed.
Oh,
On a 6, you can add one Zangor model to an existing Zangor unit that's within 9 inches of the slain model.
It's kind of what it used to be like.
Kind of what it used to be like.
Because this used to be like a mega battalion.
It did, yeah. Your command ability in your hero phase, pick one Carrick Acolyte unit holding within 12 inches of a friendly hero to your next hero phase. Each time a model from the unit is slain, you can add one to that dice roll. So you can add a Zangor unit for... So if you wanted to, you could maybe spend 900 points on Carrick Acolytes, right? Put them in the front line, and then string out a unit of Zangor behind them, and then just be like, I'm going to fucking smash 5-ups, and then make this a block of like 70 Zangor, and then go to town. What do you reckon to that as a strategy?
Different. It's it's one of those things. So my thing is nobody's ever sat down and gone, I want to paint 90 acolytes.
No,
and I think to make that kind of list work, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, you do. And also, I'd like to point out that Grinaldi's pointing out the chat. This is the best bit. Pretty rubbish equals meme value, which equals value. Therefore, the 90 Carrick Acolyte build with that unit of Zangor behind them is a build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone just runs it. Like, you play an Iron Jaws guy, he has to kill all those Carrick Acolytes.
Yeah.
And he's like,
now I've got there.
And then you've just like, I've got 70 Zangor, dickhead. What are you going to
do? Can they go above the starting size? Does it state that?
Well, it doesn't say that you can't.
Okay.
So, well, as far as I've read. Oscar Lyles, I will paint it. It might be ready in time for the next book. So there's a good meme list, which I like a good meme list. The command trait is +2 bravery for friendly units wholly within 12 inches. They're also bravery 5.
Is that Arcanite?
Friendly, no, bravery characteristic for friendly units wholly.
So interestingly, that doesn't sound good. But that when I took Skyshell Coven, that's the one I always took. There was a command ability for +2 bravery. Command trait, sorry. And I used that. Quite a lot. That was because of the bravery of Zangor and like the amount of, like, if I lost 2 disc riders on a 5-up, I'd lose 2 more or something like that. But with the bravery buff, it was
smart.
It was a good move.
All right, and then the artifact +1 to wounds characteristic. So anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the Cult Transient form. See, I thought this is the wrong way to go because it's just boring, isn't it? Although it would have been worse the other way because everything you read after would be like...
So you give up.
Oh my God.
Pete, right, it's also keeping the viewers... I'll teach you a bit of like... I'll teach you a bit of how to do this like podcasting / twitching. So you start off with the more or less interesting stuff, and they'll stay attached because they know what's coming around the corner.
They're excited.
What's going to happen around the corner?
Can the Twitch chat tell me if they're excited?
Because what's going to happen is you're going to open a new door, and it's going to be more interesting. So it means you keep your listeners.
Oh my God! I thank you for bringing on the show. That's why we get you old fellas on, just teaching us new kids how to do things.
Yes. This is how it works.
This is how it works. All right. Well, in fourth place then is the Host's Arcanum. There we go. Now, actually, having read through Screamers a little bit more, I've changed my mind and I would bump this up, but I put it in fourth place at initial thought, so whatever. This is actually pretty good. So your abilities is, once per turn in the first, third and fifth battle round, when a friendly wizard attempts to unbind a spell, is automatically unbound. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
You're playing against Nagash, you're playing against a lot of the big threats. First turn, they're not getting any spells off. Amazing.
How many times can they do it once a turn?
Once per turn.
Yeah.
But you
so it's a key spell.
Yeah, it's a key spell. It's not happening. But the command ability, in your hero phase, pick one Screamer unit wholly within 12 inches of a friendly hero, +1 to save, and +1 to rend for their Lamprey Bite, and they can benefit from once per turn. So, Screamers. Yeah, let's go look at Screamers, shall we? Because they have gone down to 120 points. No, 80 points. 80 points for 3.
Yeah.
Right? They've got 3 wounds. They've got a 5-up save. if you use this command ability on them, they will have a 4-up save and use it in the hero phase. So you like give them a 4-up save, you send them off. They move 16 inches.
I was just about to say the 16 inches is what like intrigues me more than anything.
Well, yeah. So they've got 3 attacks each, and they come in units of 3. So units of 3 up to units of 12. And they've got 3 attacks each, hit on 4s, wound on 3s. But in that example that we just talked about, they get an extra rend if you use that command ability, but obviously they've got no rend in this, and the damage is 1. But if they're targeting a monster, it becomes D3.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to max out, and you wanted to take the 12, you're looking at 320 points. They move 16 inches, they've got 36 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 4s, hit on 4s, wound on 3s, rend 1, D3 damage. You might go through a big model, but the slashing fins, which is a rad rule as well, after this unit makes a normal move, pick one enemy unit and roll 1 dice for each model in this unit. So if you've got your big max at 12, you could do 12 dice. For each 5+ that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If that enemy is a wizard, for each 5+ inflicted, D3 mortal wounds. And that's like...
I could chew through Archeon.
100... Well, I mean, yeah, it would do a decent... It might kill him, right? Like, and you stick that at the back of the board, you sling it forward, and once you've done the mortal wounds, you charge in.
Yeah.
That is a scary new unit.
A unit like that would keep Archeon honest if I was playing with Archeon. Although could Archeon survive it? Yes, but you definitely wouldn't go gung ho with him.
Oh really? Yeah, no, potentially. But like, I looked at it and I was like, this is a thing. I think screamers are a thing, and that's like an incredible. It's not.
It's just quick as well. Out of 2 units, 12, move 16, 36 wounds.
640 points. You're not spending tons of bravery 10. You're not spending a lot to get that capability, right? Milky Badger says he's going to click ahead 30 minutes to the good stuff.
Yeah, but you might miss the 30 minutes and end up like missing all the good stuff and getting back to the rubbish stuff. So you need to stay listening. That's how this works. We're not going to tell you when the good stuff comes.
Good, yeah. Nice. But will you be able to put all of them into one key target, says Grinaldi? I think potentially with that
I don't think that their bases are 32s. I don't think they're on a big base.
No, they're not. They're not. They're on the same as eel base. They're eel bases.
I think they're on 32 rounds.
Oh, are they?
Oh, look.
Okay.
This is what we can do, can't we? We can pause it because that's what we do at podcasts,
yeah,
can't we?
Pause it. Just take a small moment. Get yourself a drink. Stay hydrated, especially my Aussie brothers and sisters. It's on a 32mm round base.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Learn Trade Play. So yeah, I think Screamers are particularly good. So I maybe would bump this up now. And if I was going to play Tzeentch, which I am going to play Tzeentch, I would be looking at getting 12 of these. I might even potentially eventually get 24. Because I don't think it's particularly bad. Or you could maybe even MSU them, which is quite interesting. Because that D3 damage is whether or not you want the extra rend. It depends what you're fighting.
They're 80 points.
80 points for 3.
I mean,
9 wounds.
I see 80 points, sort of maybe 3 units, 3 MSUing, obtaining objectives, keeping like just bigger units honest, like clipping people and stuff like that, clipping big units. I can't. Big units, I think maybe, it sounds nice, but maybe a bit gimmicky. I like the idea of like MSU in them.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of the speed.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that there's, like you said, but I think that there's a potential to you almost use them as a shooting unit, right? Now, in the Host Arcanum, we're not finished. So the command trait is, after setup, but before the battle round begins, D3 units that can fly can move 6 inches. So if you wanted to have a big block like that, and you've got the choice to go first, or even if you didn't, you could put them behind a screen. Then, if they give you the first turn, fly over your screen, with your 6-inch move your extra 6 inches, and you like right into their backfield doing charges and having a great time. Not forgetting you can choose your Destiny dice to just roll that big 12 charge. And then the artifact, once per battle, at the start of your hero phase, add 1 unit of 6 Screamers to your army and set it up wholly within 9 inches of the bearer and 9 inches away from the enemy.
That's 160 points for free?
160 points for free for that artifact. So that's the Host Arcanum. What do you in the Twitch chat rate that as?
I think anything that can summon stuff like that is pretty amazing. Just summoning stuff. I mean, when I play my Khorne, I would say I win most of my games based upon being able to summon stuff out of the back pocket. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a big unit. It just has to be something that can move, summon over there, done.
Yeah.
So, to claim that objective, whatever. And it's just anything that can do that is a winner in my book.
All right, sweet. I think it's it's an incredibly good unit, and they're great models as well. Great opportunities to do some modelling. Like Speckles was saying in the chat, Screamers look amazing too. It'll be like a Deepkin list. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could start going pretty interesting, right? Let's go 36 deep. Let's get 3 units of 12. We've still only spent 1,000 points. It would look rad.
Yeah.
Imagine that versus an Acolytes army. All sharks. Sharks, turtles,
Sharks
screamers,
versus eels.
Sharks versus eels. It'd be like a hentai mashup that no one ever wanted.
Although I do have to say, Speckles saying he would do it. So,
and also,
done, I'm not doing it.
And thank you. Don't forget, because they're demons of Tzeentch, if you get a hero wholly within 12 of them, all of them wholly within 12 of a demon hero, they're going to be -1 to hit. So they could have +1 save, -1 to hit. Your Tzeentch.
I think didn't Screamers have that before?
Well, now all of the demon units
Yeah.
But now you're playing Tzeentch, so you've definitely got Geminids in your army. So now there's units that are -2 to hit, and there's some spells that will do that. So I think okay. Right. Next up. So that's 4th place, but probably I should have bumped that up. In 3rd place, and this is only for Steve Wren, is the Guild of Summoners Profane Cult. So this is the ability is you can only summon Lords of Change units with your fate points, but they cost 9 fate points for the first one, then 18 for the second, 27 for the third. Everyone seemed to think that this was like, wow, how are we going to stop it? But really, Lords of Change are kind of overcosted, so it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
It's not like you're summoning a Keeper of Secrets, right?
I've not read the new War Scroll, so let's have a look.
We will. Okay,
let's do it now. So we did this with the Screamers.
Yeah, it's a good point. Thank you so much, Podcast Pro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling you now, the Podcast Pro.
I'm glad you're accurately calling me what I am.
Right, so the Lord of Change, 14 wounds with a 4-up save.
Yeah.
It moves its classic 12 inches again. Has wings, moves slower than Keeper of Secrets. Okay.
Awkward.
No, it's Rod of Sorcery. Is 18-inch range, 2d6.
Oh, it's gained rend.
It has got rend, and there isn't really much else to say there.
Can you do one thing for me?
Yeah.
Can you go in the description, because I can't read it from here, of what it can carry item-wise?
It doesn't actually say. Oh, no, it does, sorry. A Lord of Change is a single model armed with one of the following weapon options: Staff of Tzeentch and Baleful Sword, Staff of Tzeentch and Rod of Sorcery, or Staff of Tzeentch and Curved Beak and Wicked Talons.
I love it how the model has... I remember when this first came out, and I was reading through it, I was like, so what it does, it can choose a sword... but then it has to chop its own feet off because he can't use his feet if he's got the sword, or he carries his rod, he has to chop his feet off, or if he just carries his staff, his feet grow back. And I thought they may have changed this.
No, but it has the Lord Change has actually got way better, and Kairos has as well.
Kairos went up in points,
but most importantly, Kairos can cast 3 spells. But we'll get to Kairos in a minute.
So he should.
Yeah, I agree. I actually got a point to make about Lord Change. Why it's not a 3-cast wizard, a Lord of Change.
Yeah. I don't know the ability to snap your dice.
Yeah,
that is pretty bonkers.
I agree, but you're looking at like a Ghoul King, not even a Ghoul King on Terror. Sorry, you're looking at an Arc Regent. He's like, I can cast 2 spells.
Yeah, but isn't that the problem with the Arc Regent or the Lord of Change?
Well, I'm comparing it to other wizards. Like Alarielle can cast 3, yeah? I think she can cast 3.
She's a god,
4.
though, isn't she?
She is a god, but I think she should cast maybe a little bit more than 3.
Maybe.
If she's a god. Whereas these are, like, Tzeentch is magic. That's its
sure.
narrative.
And like Nagash, you can just infinitely cast arcane bolts.
And he's a god, but these are the avatars of, like, the magic god on the realms.
Yeah.
But anyway... same reason a Tree Lord Age you can only cast 1 spell.
Yeah, he's forgotten them, though, isn't he? 'Cause he's old.
I hadn't thought of that as a reason. He's just there like, right. Okay.
And he's really slow as well.
But I think he should be a 2-cast wizard, but a 3-cast wizard, but it's not. It's a 2-cast wizard. So there you go. Anyway, you got Master of Magic. So when this model makes a casting or unbinding or Dispelling roll, you can change the lowest d6 to match the highest d6, which is nice because that's now changed to also include Dispelling and the spells, which it previously wasn't before.
Yeah.
It was just casting and binding, so it's all been, and it's neatened up as well.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Spell Eater, once per turn in your hero phase, you can pick one endless spell within 18 inches of this model. That endless spell is dispelled, so that's a new ability, which is rad, for free. Which is really nice if you're looking to...
It's interesting they gave that to Archeon as well.
Yeah. Well, if you're an army that wants to cast endless spells to generate fate points, and you're already going to have tons of multiple casters, that's an amazing ability. Because you're not wasting one of your casts, and you're getting one of your spells back, so... wicked. You got Spell Thief. If this model successfully unbinds an enemy spell with an unbinding roll of 9+, this model can attempt to cast that spell if it's possible for it to do so for the rest of the battle. So I think that means if it fits the keyword stipulations. Yeah. And then Magic, it can cast 2 spells. It's got Infernal Gateway. Still, it's cast on 7. Pick a unit within 18 inches, roll 9 dice. Look at its chart, 3+. Causes that many mortal wounds. And then command ability is +1 to casting and unbind rolls for friendly Tzeentch demon wizards. So that's a change because it used to just be Tzeentch wizards.
No, I think it was demons.
Was it?
Yeah, but most wizards within the Tzeentch book were demons anyway.
But now some of them aren't. For it specifically, the shaman.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a shame. So overall, some nice changes. I think the Spell Eater is better than it sounds on paper.
He always had that.
Yeah, but you know when someone like pops Vortex and you're like, that's tough. Like for instance, previously Tzeentch didn't get any bonuses to unbinding under spells. So the biggest thing that they did, as we saw previously, just take loads of under spells, cast them all. But then it was hard for them to necessarily
get rid of them. Now they can auto
do it, and they're also getting the Mastery of Magic on it as well. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Professor Xavier says maybe the Tree Lord doesn't know how to read. He's now forever cursed to one spell for his illiteracy.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with it.
And Jimmy 1080 says they could cast more, but only being a 2-cast reflects that they spend most of the hero phase thinking of riddles and limericks. Are they Irish? Now, Kairos has had his war scroll neatened up a little bit, which is good. He's got his Staff of Tomorrow, which is damage 2, and he's got his Beacon Claws, which is still damage 2. So he's not a combat monster like you want. He's got Mastery Magic, same as Lord of Change. Spell Eater, same as Lord of Change. He casts 3 spells, unlike the Lord of Change. However, he's got 2 big improvements. He's got his Gift of Change spell, which previously used to do D6 mortal wounds, now does a flat 6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then if you kill something with it, you set up a Chaos Spawn. You're going to need to buy Chaos Spawn if you're playing this army, by the way, because everything does that. And now they've stipulated what you can use his dice to turn. So casting rolls, unbind rolls, dispelling rolls, run rolls. So it says that on their war scroll. But that's pretty big, because previously people were using it for all sorts of shenanigans.
Do you like is it any, change? Or is it just his? Huh? I would read it here, but it's too blurry for me.
Either player's turn, if this model is on the battlefield, you can replace a single dice roll from one of the results. So either player's turn. So you can just choose to have one of your opponent's run rolls. If you run it, it turns it in 6. It's probably the worst one I could have chosen. Back to a 1.
Yeah.
But it's probably not worth taking him now for the 1 dice ability. But flat 6 mortal wounds coming out of his spell.
Having used that with Vordry, but only 8 inches. And that's what now, 18? 18 inches? Yeah. That's just a dead character.
Yeah. Double that up with a Lord of Change and Gateway. Double that up with a Herald of Tzeentch and D6 mortal wounds from there. Or just Bolt of Change. It's a lot of direct damage mortal wound output. So I think Ethereal Gem might... I mean, Ethereal Gem is still good, but, it's not going to stop this level of output.
I mean, to be fair, historically, when I've played Tzeentch, the mortal wound output from spells, and I never went heavy on spells, was still bonkers, because you had the Zangor, you had this, you had that, and this was before sort of the endless spells when I used to do them. So it was getting to get your opponent would worry about committing onto you, because if you got the double turn, you would get double magic phase and it just obliterate you. Yeah. So it's kind of how Tzeentch should be.
Agreed. Yeah. Powell saying that Fire Slayer's characters will be chuffed, but they can ignore most of the spells on a 4+. But yes, you might just flat dead. And that's a great spell to cast, 18-inch threat range, flat 6 mortal wounds, because that's not really in the game much anymore now. The snowballs have gone. Anyway, so that's the 2 changes to the Lord Change. So we were talking about the...
Sorry, I distracted, but
That's okay. No,
it's important to know what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
That the new War Scroll changes.
So the Guild of Summoners. So the fact that you could, if you generate 9 fate points, you can just put another Lord of Change down. But they're not really combat monsters. They don't have the output. They've only got 14 wounds. Well, only they've got 14 wounds with 4 up save. Fine, but they're not going to go and like battle things for you. So I don't think that this is particularly good. I actually think that the Screamer one is better than this, but I was just trying to be nice to Steve. Command ability. Use this in your hero phase. Pick a friendly wizard wholly within 9 inches of a friendly hero or wholly within 18 inches of the general. +1 to casting rolls until the end of that phase. Benefits once per turn. So, rubbish. Command trait. If your general is on the battlefield, receive 1 command point on a roll of 4+. Rubbish. Artifact. Do not take backshot tests for friendly units wholly within 12 inches of the bearer. Rubbish. Interesting.
The command point one is potentially sort of eyebrow raising.
Maybe. But either way, I don't really rate any of those, do you? Okay. So that was number 3, but I really think that should be number 4.
Yeah.
Should we get into sexy times now?
So this is the point where you've kept the attention of the players. You haven't bored them to death.
I hope not.
No, and because they've been waiting patiently for the fun stuff.
Yeah. This is where it gets real. This is where it gets real interesting. Okay. I got it. I'm going to pay another $100 for Rob not to say Geminids for a month. No, Geminids are the best. Do you start an army list with Geminids in?
It's the always go-to spell, isn't it?
First one.
Even like, what is it now, 60 points? You'd still pay 80 for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, little Chris is in the chat. Chris Jr., who's hyped about Tzeentch. I think we all are. Apart from people who don't play Tzeentch. As a Tzeentch player, my entire life.
I'm quite excited because I'm doing my Nurgle army, and I've just got 20 Chaos Knights, and they've all got a 5-up, like, field note paint.
Wasn't someone whinging that you couldn't kill your Chaos Knights or something the other day? Oh, right, nice.
I love it.
Oh, good.
No, you can't kill them, and they kill you when you get hit. It's great. It's great fun.
Right, time for a small commercial break. The Honest Wargamer dice are now available on our website. Please visit it. And,
Go give Rob money.
No, I sell some dice.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you very much. There is actually a GoFundMe for a camera if you would like to get us that.
Is this the one that the Norwegian smashed up?
No, we haven't replaced that yet. No, because we want it. Doesn't matter. Long story short, you know how you when we do the infield reporting.
Yeah.
I've worked out how now to have a camera go with that person.
Okay.
But it's expensive and I've got no money. So
okay.
Someone has to get us that anyway. Right, doesn't matter. The exciting one now. Number 2 is the Eternal Conflagration. Right. So, the ability is improve rend of Warp Flame, Billowing Warp Flame, and Magical Flames by 1, which is Flamers, Exalted Flamers, and Horrors.
Yes.
Yeah. The command ability is pick one friendly demon unit wholly within 12 inches of a demon hero. If the unmodified hit roll for Warp Flame, Billowing Warp Flame, or Magical Flames is 6, -2 bravery from the target until the end of the battle round. Kind of interesting. Command trait is -1 to hit from missile weapons that target demon units wholly within 12 inches of the general. So now you -1 to hit in combat, -1 to hit from shooting, really good. And then artifact, roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound from a melee weapon to the bearer. On a 3+, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Pretty decent on your Lord of Change.
Yeah, I don't think you don't. I always found that when I put my Lord of Change in to combat, I probably won because I'm pretty confident at that point. So.
That was a risky play. It was a tough time. Right, okay, so here we go. This is where we get
improving the rend on all that stuff.
Improving the rend on all that stuff, and this is where
because that's the problem with Flamers is they've never had any rend. Because Flamers, if Flamers cause a wound to somebody I think it's on a 4+, they do D3 mortal wounds. Mm-hmm. So it's that extra mortal wound threat. And what they got 3 attacks each or D3 Flamers.
We'll talk about it now.
Okay.
Yeah? We'll start with Horrors first because they've changed the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their magical shooting is part of this, so they'll have rend. So Magical Flames is now changed to 12 inches. Horrors now is 1 War Scroll.
Yeah.
So you can buy blue Horrors.
They're 40k'd them.
Yes, you can buy blue Horrors and you can buy Brimstone Horrors or pink Horrors, but once you get into the in-game, you are only going to have a unit of some of them or all of them in 1 block. So they're Magical Flames. They've got as many attacks as there are models in the unit. Pretty simple. They hit on 5s, they wound on 4s, they've got no rend, and they do damage 1. Now, there are ways to improve that. Any number of models in this unit can be pink horrors, any number can be blue horrors, and brimstone horrors. So I'll walk you through it. It's real simple. You've got 10 pink horrors. Because you've got 9 or more, they're a wizard. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet. And they're able to cast a spell. We'll talk about that in a minute. If someone comes in and does 5 damage, I have to assign all of the damage to those 5 pink horrors. So 5 damage, 5 pink horrors, which means that unit now is 5 pink horrors and 10 blue horrors, because each pink becomes 2 blue.
Yeah.
Now, if you do 5 more damage, I have to take off the other 5 pink horrors and apply more blue horrors.
Yeah.
That's the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because you always have to apply damage to the pink horrors.
Yeah.
Simple. Real easy. Done. As Chris Jr. says, this is bent. This is the most bent in the whole world, and it's glorious.
I don't know. Do you remember when how they used to summon stuff from them?
This is more bent.
Okay.
Maybe it's not more bent.
They
great.
mate, they used to be
Yeah, it was
insanely
horrible.
stupid.
Yeah,
before.
it is. It's true. So you can't put units into combat. So if you've got that unit, if you're killing them, you can't then extend the blue horrors into combat, but you can extend them. It doesn't say that.
I think if you're is it if you're already in combat with something, you can.
Yes, absolutely. But so they have to be set up within 3 inches of. Set up the additional models at one time within 1 inch of position the slain model had occupied. Yeah. The additional models can only be set up within 3 inches of an enemy unit if the position of the slain model had occupied. Right.
Yeah.
Real simple.
So they basically have to appear where they died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Channeled Pink Fire, the spell that the pink horrors can do. Channeled Pink Fire has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick 1 friendly horrors unit within 6 inches, add 1 to the hit rolls for their shooting. So now they're going to be hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, no rend, 1 damage. Unless you take them in this cult, in which case they're going to be -1.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, real easy. If you've got a banner, roll a 1 on your battle shot, get d6 back.
Yeah.
So that's your pink horror. Your horrors all have got a 6-up save now, and your pink horrors have got a 6+ DPR. So a 6-up death save, some of you might call it. Simple, easy. Petty Vengeance, if you decide not to split the horrors, you can roll a dice on a 5+, the attacking unit will suffer a mortal wound.
That's going to improve.
But that's only pink horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's improved. It used to be 6-up.
Heinrad says 3 pages of rules for a battle line unit. That is insane. It is pretty crazy. The Hornblower, if the unmodified roll for a battle shot test for the enemy unit that's within 6 inches this unit includes any pink horrors is a 1, the battle shot test must be re-rolled. So if your opponent rolls a 1, decent.
Yeah. That hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed. Now the abilities. So we've talked about the 6+ DPR. Flickering Flames. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with this unit's magical flames while this unit has 20 or more models. So there might be a time where you have less than 20, but then there might be a time where you then get more.
Yeah.
So you start out with 10, but then you could have 20 blues.
Yeah.
So +1 to hit. So including their spell, you could potentially be down to 3s to hit. Then you've got split and split again, and that's pink horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, all told. But as we've talked about previously, now they could all have rend. But so you can only have a max.
But they're only range 12.
They're only range 12. Now you can only have max range of, max unit size of 20. So 10 or 20.
Yeah.
But if you do have 20, effectively for 400 points, so 200 points for 10. If I put 20 pink horrors down for 400 points, I'm actually putting down 40 blue horrors and an additional 40 brimstone horrors.
Yeah.
So once I run them onto the objective, it's a lot of wounds right there.
Yeah. What's that? How many is that? 100?
100 wounds for 400 points.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then also with that volume of shooting, and having the rend, really interesting. I think the pink horrors. We haven't got the artifacts yet and some of the other stuff you can do and the spells. But I think you're going to see a lot of pink horrors.
I think it feels like how they should be.
It feels like they're okay, but we haven't talked about the best host yet.
Okay.
Which I think is an issue. And also we haven't talked about the Gaunt Summoner. So the Gaunt Summoner from Slaves to Darkness has got Demon keyword. He's got the Tzeentch keyword. So he's also got the Mortals keyword.
Yeah.
So he's so he's got all of the abilities that you want. He was also 240 points, and he's a 2-cast wizard. So if I take a Gaunt Summoner and a Tzeentch army, really and he can just for free summon me 20 pink horrors.
10.
10 pink horrors. But what he's really summoning me is 50 wounds.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy.
Even for my Warriors army, if I took him with my Plague Touch, that'd be an interesting combo, wouldn't it?
There you go.
Because they love each other.
By the way, the Tzeentch, the horrors also get +1 to cast if there is a horrors hero.
Yeah. That's what it's been saying. Yeah.
Okay. So
I like it.
Right, you like it. All right. So next up, Flamers, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
A little bit. So 2 wounds each, 5 up save, move 9, but they've got an 18-inch shooting attack. Hit on 4s, wound on 3s, rend nothing. However, if you do have them in the Eternal Conflagration, which I see, rend 1, d3 damage. Yeah. They can fly, which is cool. You get +1 attack for the champion. However, +1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit if they've got 10 or more models in the target unit. +2, so now you're hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
Wounding on 3s, rend 1 d3 damage. If there's 20 or more models. And then roll dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this unit, as in the Flamers of Tzeentch unit. On a 5+, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound. So they've lost their ability to pop and gain another Flamer, which they did at one point. And then you got Guided by Billowing Flames, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit if there's an Exalted Flamer nearby. So if you wanted to, you could be hitting a character on 2s.
Yeah.
And they're cheap as fuck. They're squishy.
I mean, that's what you got to remember. They're 6 wounds for 100. Is it 160 points?
No,
or is it 120?
No. They're way cheaper now. Flamers are 120 points for 3.
But it's 6 wounds for 5 up save.
So inside the Eternal Conflagration, you can have them as your battle line unit.
Yeah.
So you can just put some cheap crap in front of them.
Yeah.
And I think you could be doing some pretty scary work with that unit of Flamers.
But they were so bad before. I remember there used to be 2. Right, just to remember, these guys with that stat line used to be 200 points for 3.
Yeah, I know.
They then got reduced down to, wait for it, 180 points because they were 180 points. I don't know. Yeah,
but 120 points is crazy, right?
I think it's about right. It's 120 points for 6 wins, but the damage output is potentially for how many? 3, 6, 9 hits, hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s. It's a lot of damage, and then if each wound they do on a 5 up, they then do a mortal wound.
No, that's if you attack the Flamer of Tzeentch unit.
Oh, if you attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because they're on fire, basically, you're punching fire.
Right. Okay. So it's not if when they do damage they can do more, because they used to potentially heal people as well.
Yeah. No, none of that anymore.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I think it's really good, and I think inside the Eternal Conflagration, where they can be battle line, it's crazy.
I think you need to take them in that, otherwise they're not worth it.
Yeah, agreed. But I think, honestly, I think there's something there, and I think it's really interesting, and I'm rating it. Now, there are obviously some other Flamer units as well. There's the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. So same thing, he gets all the pluses to hit, so he'll be hitting on 2s most of the time. If you punch it, takes some mortal wounds. So same thing, and all the Flamers that are on the Exalted Chariot and other stuff. But I think you've genuinely got you've got the gun line you want in Tzeentch.
Yeah.
It's quite funny that they've released 2 gun line books, right?
Well, they need, that's how they fight, though, don't they? In the sky, just shooting each other.
Yeah, exactly. Right, but
these are
just way better.
It is like Battle for Britain.
Yeah. Pow, pow, pow. But they move 9, so the actually effective range is 27 inches, which is a lot more than a lot of other armies have. That's fast. So 27-inch effective range. I actually think you're going to see some of those on the tabletop, and they're going to be difficult to deal with because they've got pretty long range. All right.
Their weakness is the 5 up save with 6 wounds. It's the 5 up save with 6 wounds.
Yeah.
That's their. Ultimately that's their weakness.
And someone says taking 6 Exalted YOLO. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting.
£25 each, aren't they? They're if you buy them individually, they're ridiculously poor. Yeah. I don't know if it's maybe more.
Always buy the Star Collective box and just sell the other bits. Right, so the last host, so my number 1 pick, and I mean, it's not very difficult to do this, but obviously, is the host Duplicitus. And this is where it gets a bit dumb. So I'm sorry about this. Enemies.
Great, you've walked through the last door, everyone. You've waited till the most exciting to be encountered with. It's a bit dumb.
It's a bit dumb. Well, it's like Petrifex is dumb. So abilities. Enemies within 3 inches of friendly units cannot retreat.
That's great.
So, them 10 brimstone horrors, like them 3 like screamers that you just threw at someone, just be like pin them in a little bit, can't retreat, done. Horrible. Like, and then all the other best stuff is in here as well. Command ability: once per battle, immediately after a horror unit is destroyed, on a 5+, set up the original unit wholly within 12 inches of a hero and 9 inches away from enemies. Also done.
Yeah.
Right? So my big block of 20 pink horrors, which I've decided to take. Great, 400 points. I keep a couple of command abilities. It says once per battle, so I'd have to read the exact wording on it. Maybe you can only try and roll it once, but you might be able to roll it once. But still really good. As your command ability. Command trait: reroll casting and unbinding rolls for friendly demon wizards wholly within 9 inches.
Yeah. However, they used to have that anyway.
So you did have that from the blue scribe.
Yes.
But you had to pay the points for the blue scribes to do
yeah.
it. So now you don't need the blue scribes. You already want to take the enemies can't retreat. So you're laughing. And the artifact for your general is +1 save.
Yeah, which is
brilliant.
Yeah.
So brilliant. So your Lord of Change is on a 3-up save. His command trait is rerolling casting and binding rolls for friendly demon wizards wholly within 9 inches. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, it seems like Games Workshop are going down this route, whereas they've literally you can read the new books and go, well, this is clearly the best, strongest battalion. This is the worst, and
well, this is the best sub faction.
Yeah. So maybe this is like, we jest about it and sort of take the mick out of it, but maybe it's an actual design idea where you can have ones which are not stupid and then ones are stupid.
Yeah, potentially. You might 100% right. There might be the idea. It's like this we envision as our competitive build, and here we're trying to make some fun things. Yeah, fine. Who knows if that's the case? Maybe they're doing a bit of a Bruce Lee. They're taking what's useful and they're discarding what's not. Who knows? But let's talk about that for a minute, because this is a competitive, game changing. The host duplicitous. That's what you're going to play against.
Yeah.
End of. Enemy units within 3 inches of friendlies cannot retreat. None of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And also, interesting thing about a little bit of tech, once per battle immediately after a horror unit is destroyed, you set up the original unit. So if you do take a battalion, let's say Change Host, and you destroy a unit and then you reset that unit up, because it's the original unit, is still your Change Host unit.
Yeah.
Whereas summoned units aren't included in this battalions.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel? How did you feel going through the final door? Happy with it?
It definitely has got the shenanigans, because there's still no. When it comes to demons, nobody took demons, like I said to you before. Now it's making me go.
Well, that's all horrors, right?
Yeah. Well, no, you'd be horrors backed up by flamers. This is what I'm sort of, scrying at the moment. See what I did there?
Nice.
Did you like it?
Nice.
So you have your 2 big blocks of 20 horrors,
Yeah.
just supported by flamers and a couple of wizards, and the flamers sit not being able to get shot, or can only get shot because they're just sitting in.
Yeah, I mean, your tar pit of horrors with your flamers shooting over the top is horrible.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you're going to see, because the idea in my head, at least, is you have some sacrificial, maybe blues or something at the front. You got some gaunt summoners behind. Maybe I won't even take a Lord of Change, because we've re-rolling to cast and re-rolling unbinds.
Yeah.
Like
2 gaunts.
Like now I've got 4 casts in the 2 gaunt summoners, 3 gaunt summoners. 700 and
Because they're effectively they're 40 points each.
Huh?
Gaunt Summoners 40 points
40
each.
points each. Yeah, and then I can just put down 30 more pink horrors, and then I can be casting my 6 spells from those 3 gaunt summoners, which will rack up. My
no, you lose a spell when you summon.
For the first time. Yeah, you're right, 100%.
Well, that's a really good way of selling brims and blues.
Well, anyway. It's horrible that you do that on purpose, Rob. So I think the Screamers is a good place to go. I think the Flamers are a good place to go. I think even things like the Exalted Flamer.
Well, to be fair, every single one of those I've read, just on the surface, I've gone, okay, I can now see a role for all of those demon models that I've never had a desire to play with before.
Agreed. Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this book has got a lot of options, and I think there is just going to be some strong dumb stuff, but I think it's got a lot of options. Like, I love the idea. I like my little 12 screamer star flying around idea. I think that's cool. I really want to do that. Like, that's wicked. I want to have my little block of 12 flamers. Like, that genuinely feels like a demon-y army, right? I've got my pinks in the front. I've got my cavalry unit and my screamers. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So they've changed some other stuff. The changeling has changed, which is good. So
it's in the name.
It's in the name. He's always changing. He's got 5 wounds with a 5-up save. He's got Pukish Misdirection, which is in the enemy hero phase. Pick 1 enemy unit within 9 inches of this model. If you do so, until your next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit and half the move characteristic. So
that's got better then.
If you double that up with, get ready for it, Reflex Dog Training Painting, Geminids. Yeah. Plus the Locus from the Demons. That's -3 now. So not only are those horrors going to explode into 100 wounds, they're -3 to hit. Decent. However, now setting up the changeling, which before you needed a small degree to do.
Yeah. Well, it used to be really easy. Just put him anywhere.
Yeah. And sort of like, how's it work? Like, listen, I'll just tell you and you just shut the fuck up. Now it's pretty simple. At the start of the battle round, after armies have been set up before the first turn begins, if you do so, from the battlefield, if you do so at the end of your first movement phase, you must set this model up again anywhere within your opponent's territory, more than 3 inches from enemy units.
How does he get revealed now?
He's just immediately revealed.
Oh, right, okay.
There's none of that. He's a friendly model, non-friendly.
They've just gone, this is far too confusing. This is.
He's just a model that you can put in your opponent's army within outside 3 inches, more than 3 inches away.
So if you know you're going first, you can do some shenanigans with him.
Yeah. Wait, is it Pukish? Puckish misdirection. Sorry, A Midsummer's Night Dream. All right. Okay. Yeah, there are also other ways to get minuses to hit. So. Geminids. Right, magic. He's a 2-cast wizard, though.
Why?
He's gone up.
I guess so. Okay.
Right?
Okay, I can see that. Okay.
He hasn't got any special spells, but he's a 2-cast wizard, which is rad. So I'm up for it. Yeah, I think the change. And he's also
a brilliant model.
He's also 120 points. 2-cast wizard, 120 points.
Yeah.
Come on, because what are we doing? We're just re-rolling those casting spells just to generate fate points.
Yeah.
All right. Of course we are. Other changes. Blue Scribes have stayed basically the same, apart from now when they do their Scroll of Sorcery, so they cast a spell on a 2+, it automatically casting cannot be unbound.
Oh, wow.
Which is real interesting if you absolutely must get off a spell. But I don't see... I could see why you would use Blue Scribes in another army, but I don't know why you would take Blue Scribes when you could just take a command trait that already lets you reroll.
I guess it just lets you have that reroll ability somewhere else.
Yeah. But you can only attempt to cast 1 spell, the Blue Scribe. So I now think the days of the Blue Scribes are over. Long live the Fate Skimmer.
I don't know.
On the Burning Chariot.
Being able to have a spell which isn't unbind. You can't unbind.
It's good, but you've got Destiny dice with pluses to cast.
But if there's like a spell you want to get off, which is like super critical.
But there aren't really any super critical spells in this book.
Okay.
I don't think. Like, I could look at it, like, Gateway's good, but I don't think there's anything like...
Well, if the listeners wait, we can talk about that later on in the show.
Later on. Part 5 will surprise you.
We will be here till 3 a.m, so please hold up.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not taking too long, are we? You okay with it?
No, I'm just taking the piss.
All right, good. Decent. So, Fate Skimmer, Herald of Tzeentch on Burning Chariot, 8 wounds with a 5-up save. But he's got the 6 attacks from the Lamprey Bite.
Yeah.
Right, because it's got 2 charges. Yeah. So D3 damage, knocking out.
I've got one of these half painted.
It's decent, and then you got the magical flames on top. It's kind of like a mixture of your screamer and your flamer. Yeah. I'll take it. It's also a wizard, and it's got Tzeentch's Firestorm, which is cast on an 8. If successfully cast, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 9 inches of the caster and visible to them. On a 3+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Now, that doesn't seem good unless I can make my whole of my opponent's army not be able to retreat. And then I fly this dickhead in the middle, and I'm like...
Yeah. Just exploding.
Yeah.
You put him on a Balewind.
Huh?
Put him on a Balewind.
Yeah, put him on a Balewind. Battletome, was the changing a name character before? I don't think he was. No, I think he was. Sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Because there's a conversation, because he's now a unique unit, so you can only take 1, but he's not a named character, so you can give him an artifact and command trait.
Oh, right, okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Bit weird.
It is a bit weird. All I hear is lamprey pie. Looks like not anymore. Anyway, so listen, I don't actually know the points of this bad boy. That's kind of the selling point, the Fate Skimmer. I think it's worth it.
Let's have a look.
Herald of Tzeentch on Burning Chariots, 140 points. For a caster that's movement 16, has got 8 wounds, is a hero, so he's going to make stuff minus to hit. He's only got 5 up save. It's pretty crap. But it's pretty cheap also.
It's got a big base.
Big base.
And that's not way.
For those big booty demons. Who doesn't want some big booty demons? However, the Burning Chariot is also pretty rad. He only moves 14, weirdly. He's got the Lamprey Bite for the Lamprey Pie as well. But he's got 6 attacks with his Billowing Warp Flame. 4s, 3s, rend 1.
Because he's an Exalted Flamer.
Huh?
He's an Exalted Flamer.
He's an Exalted Flamer, yeah. But, check this out. Rend 2, if he was in the other faction. If he's in the Eternal Conflagration.
Yeah.
Rend 2 with 6 attacks. And he gets the bonus +2 to hit if there's 20 or more models. D3 damage from the Lamprey.
It just makes them worth it. I like see that before that scroll there was totally. I never used to take it. It was awful. But now it's got essentially Rend 2. Everything else it's now got right again.
Yeah, it's a cool army.
It's that look.
Oh, interesting. But what I mean is the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch a good unit compared to
how many points is it?
No. Well, it's not bad, but it's not going to make that. I don't think the Burning Chariot. The Burning Chariot. I don't know if it's on my special.
80 points. An army of them.
150. But
weird. What? Why are things 150?
I don't know.
What's that all about?
But if your battle line is a general, it's battle line if your general is a Fate Skimmer, which is the new unit from inside the special box set, which you'll never be able to get a copy of. Oh no, wait, Fate Skimmer. No, not Fate Skimmer. Sorry, if it's the
Magister.
No, I've said this wrong and I've got super excited. I'm sorry. The Burning Chariots are battle line if the Herald of Tzeentch on Chariot is your general.
Yeah, that's never changed. That's always been the case.
There you go. Apologise.
We got there in the end.
Got there in the end. But I think still the potential to have them. Just going to say it. Or would you not think so?
Again, it's one of those ones where on paper it seems quite exciting. It's whether or not things have got that durability to survive the game.
Which they don't.
It's 100. It's 150 points for 6 wounds.
Yeah, but it has got a 5 up save. Okay, it's crappy. All right, but the flamers themselves are just better. Fair enough. But
I like. I mean, is it a hero as well? Still,
no. You're against it. I can tell.
It's one of those ones where I'm sort of like I would get quite excited by it, but when you start looking at it in reality, what else can you get for that points? But with all the other combos, not his spells.
Well, I think Angle makes the point when we do talk about everything else. So we talked about the flamers, right? So kick out some decent damage, but they're just going to die. If you talk about the horrors, I think the horrors are almost needed in this army. Otherwise, they don't. They've got nothing better than a 4 or 5 armor save most of the time.
Fragile army, and it's all about shenanigans.
Pete Pratt, great question. Hot question? Is it really a chariot? Mark, your thoughts? Is the Exalted Flamer chariot a chariot?
Just go back to the wolf scroll.
Okay, no problem. I would like you to give you the definitions of what a chariot are. But
well, just it's relevant. It says burning chariot, so it's a chariot.
No, so that's not true.
Well, no. It says chariot.
Weatherspoons. By the way, if you're not from the UK, Weatherspoons is a pub, sort of.
A Brexit pub.
Have you ever been to Weatherspoons?
Many a time.
You know when it says we serve steak on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
You're like, you fucking liar, that's not a steak.
This is true.
I've seen a real steak. Yeah? What's this? It's grey.
Yeah, but it's 20p. So it's fine. What, do you know, I saw a tweet of this American woman, she was like, look where I'm going. I'm going to Weatherspoons. And she's like, look how cheap it is.
Look at this grey, dry meat.
It cost me £3 for 2 meals and 2 Cokes.
Anyway, so it's not a chariot because, as JJ, big up JJ in the chat, Happy New Year, says, the chariot requires 2 wheels and it needs to be pulled by something.
Magical wheels.
There's no... I can't see them.
Yeah, just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. Feelings exist just because you can't see them.
Okay, all right. So you got the Herald, just the Herald of Tzeentch. Still, I think going to be something people take. He can only cast one spell, but still does D6 mortal wounds at 18 inches. So still a great spell. Once per battle, when this model attempts to cast or unbind a spell, you can roll 3d6 dice instead of 2d6. And if this model successfully casts a spell with a casting roll of 9 or more, you can cast another spell. So
Hasn't changed. Still good. Solid.
Weatherspoons exist for pancake breakfast and cheap starting pints. All right, fair enough. What's your favourite Weatherspoons meal? Do you see when Speckles went to Weatherspoons the other day and everyone ordered him like
Trashed,
£200?
didn't he? Jesus, I saw that. I have yet to do that. I think I might do it at my event, which we were going to talk about later.
Find out more about that at the end.
At the end, the last door. The door made of gold.
The door made of gold. So the Herald of Tzeentch is still decent. I don't know his points. I can't remember them off the top of my photographic memory. But the Herald of Tzeentch,
Sure.
110 points. So fantastic.
It's gone down by 10 points.
Yeah. But everything's got cheaper. It's just good. Right, Fluxmaster is just a different dude, and he's just don't worry about it. Just
What's his spell? Because his spell used
doesn't
to...
have one. Oh wait, Blue Fire of Tzeentch. Pick one enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster and visible to them. Roll 9 dice for each 6 they suffer a mortal wound. So you're not going to ever take him. So it's alright. We can move on. Zangor Shaman is as he was, apart from he's lost the demon keyword. So he's no longer able to benefit from any. Is it
Wholly Within 12?
What for?
His ability to give +1 to, or is that on the
Wholly Within 12 for the Zangor Shaman? So that's visions of the past and visions of the future. Yeah. So you run him behind. But the fact that he's lost the demon keyword means they're like buy a Gaunt Summoner now, dickhead. Yeah. Same thing but different. Same but different.
More points.
Same but different. So Skyfires are all the same. I still think Skyfires, like in Tzeentch, one of the things that you're going to realise that you lack is actual combat punch.
Yeah, but they're the most powerful combat unit in the game.
Skyfires? Yeah, they're ridiculous.
They're bows, man.
Yeah, they're what can you tell everyone why? Because I say this all the time. Why is Skyfire so good in combat?
In combat,
yeah.
So I'm assuming they've still got the same. My wall scroll's blurry, so they've still got the
in the combat phase, reroll to hit and reroll to attack
wound.
Unit. Yeah.
So it's just that having that control of doing D3 attacks from the disc, being able to reroll 4s and 3s. Now I've re-got this in my Nurgle army. The Slaves of Darkness wizards have got this spell, rerolling hits and wounds. And it is just makes units so reliable. But this disc's doing D3 damage. It's just well, it's too good. Why is the disc doing D3 damage with D3 attacks?
D3 attacks, D3 damage. A unit of 3 is 200 points agreed, but statistically it's 6 attacks. You're hitting. This is just the teeth and horns from the disc.
Yeah.
Hit on 4s, rerolling. Wound on 3s, rerolling. Rend 1, and then it's D3 damage. It's bonkers. And then when you do buddy that up into like a big combat block of 6 or 9, I get is a big investment in points. But they've got 4 wounds each. I'm sure you'll testify. And because they're going first, because they're movement 16.
Yeah.
And they're also Bray Herd, so you can ally in a Bray Herd, a Bray Shaman, and then now they're going 19 inches. They're still dumb strong.
Yeah.
But.
But I think at 200 points they're about right now though, because they do just bleed into your army a little bit too much. It's if you're going to take 9, that's 600 points. That's a quarter of your army in one unit. Although they're strong, they're not. I think they're a good place. Yeah,
I agree. I think they're pointed fairly well, but I still would take them. In the right, like they would be. I'd be like, I want a combat punch. I wouldn't think Lord of Change pimped out with artifacts.
So here we go. Let's just compare them. What we've just talked about. Flamers saying Flamers are good at 120.
Yeah. So
Flamers have got 9 attacks, 4s and 3s, or let's say 2s and 3s, but only range 18.
Yeah.
These guys are 4s and 3s, technically 3s and 3s with a Shaman nearby.
Yeah. Rerolling.
No. I'm just talking. They're shooting attacks.
Oh, Rend 1 D3 damage.
Yeah. So, but I'm just trying to make some kind of comparison to Flamers to these
for the shooting.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Flamers do. Well, these guys have got 30-inch threat range.
Yeah.
They're 40-inch threat range, and that's the great thing about this unit. You can send 6 of them off, shoot a character, maybe you kill him, maybe you don't, whatever. But then they go and hit they're shooting and they're fighting in the other place.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think they're pointed well. Which is nice. But they've got so much backup now. They can be your bully unit. They're your 400-point monster.
To keep things honest.
Yeah. Someone's like, I might go down that flank. You're like, no, you won't.
No, yeah.
Right. So they're a great... I think maybe a unit of 6 will really keep your opponent honest. Like you say, I think that's decent. Enlightened have gone up to 180 points. Thankfully, Mark. Yes. Finally, they've gone up the points.
Because they were just ruining hobby.
Yeah, Speckles.
Left, right, and centre.
The additional rend is only done on billowing flame attacks, which is flamers, exalted flamers, and horrors. The rend doesn't go on anything else. Zangors are pretty much unchanged. They're the same. They're still a little bit too expensive compared to what they were. Ogroid Thermitage, the same.
Any change?
Thermitage. The Fate Master has had his command ability changed.
I love the combat characters with no rend. It's so good.
with
just love
with
it.
His fire glaive of Tzeentch. He literally has a glaive set on fire.
No rend.
No rend.
Wounding on a 4+.
However, he does have a pretty cool rule, which is add 2 to save rolls for attacks made by melee weapons that target this model unless the attacking unit is a monster or can
Always
fly.
had that.
Hold on. But when you take the artifact, the paradoxical shield, he can have a 2-up save.
He has to reroll.
But he has to reroll his successful saves. But it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, you can always say that before, and I tried it a few times just because it was like, how do you min-max this dude out?
Yeah.
But he just doesn't do anything when he gets there.
No,
you know,
especially when you can be trying to do the agenda that just gives Archeon +1 save.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll take that.
It's just yeah. Has he still got the really cool idea, but falls flat on his face command ability?
His command ability is if you use his command ability to start your hero phase. If you do so, pick a friendly model with his command ability to your next hero phase. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Tzeentch units wholly within 9 inches of this model.
Okay,
so he's amazing.
So that's changed. Before it was some funky bullshit.
Yeah. So now, fair enough, he himself is crap, but everything within 9 inches reroll into hit. So that unit of that unit of horrors that you've punched out, reroll into hit. Pretty brilliant. Those flamers that you wanted to reroll to hit, reroll to hit.
Yeah.
So, damn it, had no one.
So that's, I mean, ultimately that rerolls that hasn't changed from when I used to play 7th edition when anything with rerolls because it just makes things super reliable. So when I see the reroll, like my Slave to Darkness army, the sorcerers are probably a little bit too good because they make you reroll your armor saves, and you can reroll hits and wounds with the spell. So it's just like you're just rerolling everything, and that just makes things like annoyingly like durable.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys are going to just have incredibly consistent output, especially because of things like the Fate Master. So a good command ability, and arguably like one that you maybe want to double up. Learn Trade Plays pointing out Skyfire's rerolling to hit. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is our first pass through the book, right? But here are some of the combos. You got your Flamers rerolling to hit, although they don't really need it to get the pluses to hit. But it depends. You only get the pluses to hit if you're firing at
big units.
A big unit. Yeah. If you have an Exalted Flamer nearby and are looking to shoot at a monster, like having the command ability from the Fate Master rerolling to hit, decent. The Lamprey Bites.
6 Exalted Flamers. 6
Exalted Flamers. Yeah, now you're getting it. You're rerolling to hit. All right, now we're in. Let's go.
we're laughing, but
is it? See, that's what I mean. The book's genuinely like what I really fucking love about this book is number one, the Carrick Acolytes are shit because I hate them and they look ugly, so that's fine. But also they looked at Zangor and were like, You've done your work, boys. You've been here long enough.
You've held the fort.
We've sold enough of you. And then they were like flamers, exalted flamers, screamers. It feels.
They're cool models as well.
What?
They're cool.
They're really cool
aged
models.
really well.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think that there's a lot in that army potentially. So I think it's great. So Fate Master, really, really good. Move 16 as well, can keep up with stuff. He's an Arcanite. Then you got the Magister. Now, also there's the Magister on disc, which comes inside the box set. He's got a great spell, which I really love, which is pick an enemy unit within 18 inches, D3 mortal wounds. I think and then if you slay anything, you put a Chaos Spawn in.
Yeah.
Which is amazing against shooting blocks. Just amazing. You just be like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I've got some crossbowmen. You're like, cool. Bellwind Vortex. Just do this one spell. Little fucking dickhead. Like your entire next, unless they've got the bridge, in which case it doesn't matter. It's never mind. But the Magister's
Because
good.
that bridge is so cool.
Cool or good? Both.
I'm going to retract that. Any of those words associated to that bridge there.
How do you feel about the bridge? The Soul Scream bridge, the Endless Spell. How do you feel about it?
Scream. Let's scream at it. That's how I feel about it.
You hate it.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's I liked it. If you listen to the review show when it first came out, I was like, everyone should take this. And like 6 months later, everyone was like, I might take this bridge thing. Like, the fuck is wrong with you?
It's so bad.
It's amazing.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Dear God.
It was cool when you sent some fire dwarves over it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, something that I think's Moon Tyrannid, baby, hello. Curseling. He's back, baby, in my opinion.
It's a cool model.
Cool model. He's got a new ability, Disruptor of the Arcane. Reroll Unbinding and Despoiling rolls for this model.
Is that because the demon is whispering into his ear?
Come on, let's get it on. Let's go. Vest of the Chaos. If this model successfully unbinds a spell that is possible for it to cast, it can immediately attempt to cast the spell even if it's the enemy hero phase.
Yeah.
If that spell is successfully cast, it cannot be unbound, which is amazing.
So I've ran him a few times. Did I run him against you a few times?
No, I ran him against you.
I've ran him.
Oh, I've ran him. He's brilliant.
See, I every time I ran him, I was just like, he's on paper, he sounds really good, but in reality, it was just a bit...
It's true. But if you take the artifact from the realm of light, maybe might be the realm of, but you get an extra unbind. So you put him on top of a Bellwind Vortex. You gave it so his unbind range was longer.
Yeah, I did all that, and it's just
I agree with you, but it's also fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's got...
I think my criticism was you couldn't, if somebody casts the end of the spell, you can't copy the end of the spell because you don't pay the points for it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the spells people casting were book-centric spells. So actually, he couldn't cast a lot of spells anyway because it was like, when a Warriors of Chaos or if a Sylvaneth cast this spell, they get this. So actually, in reality, the ability to copy a spell meant nothing because he couldn't cast a spell
and
anyway.
also, and this is, I mean, now he's got reroll at Unbinding and Dispelling. Yeah, that's really big. That makes him a lot better because now he's just doing it on his own, which is great. Yeah. The other thing that I would like, so you don't have to buff him up to try and make him work. But the other problem is when you're unbinding your opponent's spells, you're starving yourself of fate points, which they're giving you. Like, the spells are normally so good that you want to like let them off, but sometimes you're like, they're like, I'm going to cast this spell. You're like, I literally don't give a fuck. Give me a summoning point.
Yeah.
So, anyway, his special spell, Gleam Magic, has a casting value of 3. Successfully cast, pick an enemy wizard within 20 points of the caster invisible to them. Pick one spell from the wizard's war scroll that's possible if this one was cast. Roll a dice on a 3+. The caster knows the spell for the rest of the battle. So that could be cool because you could do Hand of Dust, steal it off Nagash.
Can he then cast it though?
Hand of Dust. Yeah.
Because sometimes it says when a death enemy unit card. This is what I mean. There's a lot of spells which says
spell book spells.
Yeah, so I've got it up here. Let's see. Yeah, you can cast it.
Okay, so a little mid-break for everyone. How are we all feeling? How are you feeling so far before... We've only got... It's not long left. All we've got to do is look at the command traits, artifacts, and then we've got to look at the spell lore and battalions, and we're done. Yeah, and I've picked out the best ones anyway, so we can race through those. Easy peasy.
What is the time?
Oh, it's not very late. It's only 10 to 9. It's not that. It's more... I'm trying to be succinct with it. Like,
Yeah.
And I think I quite like now that sub-factions are definitely a thing. She's like, cool, we're looking at the Lords of Change because of the Lords of Change, like sub-faction. That's kind of interesting. Right, so, but the thing about the command traits and the artifacts is you have to take the command trait and artifact from the...
that thing.
From the sub-faction.
So you have to take it.
Yeah, if you want any of those bonuses. And I really can't see people often not wanting those bonuses, personally.
I mean, without looking at the rest of the artifacts in the book,
I'm
are there any extra ones? Because
Yeah.
the Slaves to Darkness doesn't have that. It's really weird.
Yeah, it is really weird. Yeah.
It seems like it's been written in its own little bubble, the Slaves to Darkness one, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the Safe Start.
I do as well.
Right, so command traits. For Arcanites, you've got add 12 inches, magical supremacy, add 12 inches to unbind and dispel range. You have that both for demons also, and you have that for demons as well. And then for You have Arcane Sacrifice as well. At the start of your hero phase, inflict 1 mortal wound on a friendly Tzeentch unit within 3 inches. Until the end of that phase, add 9 inches to spells. So if you really wanted to like pop your Lord of Change and just be like...
Okay, Arcanate.
No, at the start of your hero phase, inflict 1 mortal wound on a friendly Tzeentch unit within 3 inches. To the end of the phase, add 9 inches to spells. Maybe, actually, the way it's written, probably it's just the person that did it can do it. So, fair enough.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. That's from the old book as well.
Then you've got, for mortals, you've got illusionists, -1 to hit. Fair enough. Then for demons, you've got Arch Sorcerer. This general knows 2 extra spells from the Lord of Change. Fair enough. Magical Supremacy, same thing. Add 12 inches to unbinded spell range. Demon Spark, once per battle in your hero phase, gain 3 fate points. I don't think that's worth it, but whatever. And then
Interesting.
And you've got Aether Tether, which is +1 save. I think there are more. Those are just the ones that I think are okay. So then, artifacts-wise, Arcanites, you've got the Secret Eater. Pick 1 weapon. If the unmodified roll for that weapon is a 6, roll and add a Destiny dice. Which is...
I remember that was in before where people could take multi-battalions and there was an artifact that you could just take roll loads of 6s every time you used to thingy.
Then take some more. Yeah, like I like that one. I think that's too bad. Time Slip Pendant. Once per battle at the end of the combat phase, fight a second time.
So my problem is when you've got this book of like all about magic, then all the artifacts. I'm talking about the old book here, and it was something I noticed in this book when I was just reading some of your notes you sent me. Again, there seems to be a lot of weapons, but I'm like, how many combat heroes are going to be taking these weapons?
None. Like, all of the demon stuff is combat. Yeah, which is why I'm just not going to read them out. Like, so I hope you get that. I'm just not going to... I'll put like a little...
You've got like an army of wizards with some of the greatest weapons in the game. Thanks.
Pete Pratt says, I'm not gonna lie, Tzeentch has been very common in our local meta, which is Northern Ireland. In the past, I'm not enthused about all those armies coming back out to play. What I think is nice, Pete, is
they can be different.
They could be different. They're not, because we haven't talked about the battalions yet. It's literally change-host, but we'll and it's arguably different but better. But how it works out, because you can't really do the same sort of like hurting the pinks and moving the pinks to do, because they can't cast under spells anymore. So you're limited in what you can do in under spell. Anyway, but I still think that you're going to see a lot of horrors on the board.
Demon Princes, angle. It's saying Demon Princes, mate.
210 points angle. Come on.
No. You want a Nurgle Demon Prince, not a Tzeentch
do.
Demon Prince.
Yeah, a real one. Anyway, mortals. Paradoxical Shield, +2 save rolls. Reroll any successful save rolls. We talked about that. I think that's really cool. I really like that.
No, I don't. I don't like it because, again, if you had a combat army and you get like somebody with a 2-up save, yeah, but you've got an army where your heroes don't want to get in combat anyway.
Fair enough. Good point. Time Slip Pendant, once per battle at the start of the combat phase, fight a second time. We talked about that. I already said that. Sorry. Demons. So these are artifacts. Aura of Mutability, +1 to wound rolls from friendly demon units wholly within 9 inches. Now that's great.
That's good. Is that combat or
just +1 to wound rolls? And with rerolling to hit, +1 to wound rolls. Yeah, rerolling to hit off the Fate Master, +1 wound rolls aura. You got something there. Wellspring of Arcane Might, reroll casting and unbinding rolls. That's on demons. So if you wanted to go inside the internal configuration, but you wanted to try and get the reroll casting and bind rolls, Wellspring of Arcane Might, and Aspect of Tzeentch, roll a dice each time you spend a Destiny dice on a 5+, roll a dice and add it to the pool. So, all right, okay, not interested. Right, finally, spell lore. Yeah, where's the lore of? I've lost one of the laws. Oh my god, I've deleted it somehow. Oops. Okay, spell lore. Okay, so the lore. Oh no, I haven't. There it is. Lore of Fate. Okay, so you got Bolt of Tzeentch, D6 mortal wounds, good one. Arcane Suggestion, that's cast on 7. Arcane Suggestion cast on 8. Pick 18-inch range. Pick an effect. You deal D3 mortal wounds, and they're either -1 to hit and wound or -1 save to an enemy unit. So another -1 to hit. Glimpse of the Future, casting on a 7. Roll a dice and add it to the Destiny pool. Now, normally you wouldn't mention something like that, but these Tzeentch armies are going to be like, what else can I cast?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
would be
yeah.
casting hungry like crackheads. Sorry to crackheads. If you're listening.
I don't think they will be.
Legion Arcanum
They're going to be on crack.
is...
They're not gonna want to listen to see you
You
prattle
tell
on
me
about
that you
Tzeentch.
don't want to take a bit of crack and then listen to some Warhammer Age of Sigmar top tier tech talk.
Do you know what? I think if somebody was listening to crack, they would be like jumping, like destroying the place listening to you.
No, this is good.
I don't know where I'm going. This one, move on.
Cast on a 5, 9 inches, wholly within. Pick a friendly mortal unit on a 3+. You bounce wounds to that unit. So that's Infusion Arcanum. So a way to protect your army.
Yeah.
You got Unchecked Mutation, 18-inch range, deal D3 mortal wounds, cast on 6. If any models are slain on a 3+, deal another D3 mortal wounds, which is pretty good. So you got D6 is 6 from, you got Gateway, 6 from potentially Kairos if you wanted to go that route. So you can do some real mortal wound output. Fold Reality, 18 inches, wholly within. Friendly demon unit. On a 1, the whole unit dies, but on a 2, return slain models equal to the dice roll. Return models must be within 1 inch of the original unit. A risky play to do on 10 pink horrors, but a fun play. And then Tzeentch,
Because they're not dying, and they're just getting removed. So do they turn into 2
friendly demon
blues?
unit. On 1, the unit dies. So that's all of them.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Tzeentch's Firestorm, 18-inch range, roll 9 dice for each 6, deal D3 mortal wounds. I think that one's fantastic. So, anything stand out to you there? The spells are pretty much like, meh, just mortal wound output and other stuff, right?
Nothing too different from what was in the books previous.
No. Infusion is great on a Thermitage. They wouldn't even play OS because they wouldn't sell the models for more crack. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Can these be straight pinks back to the unit? Oh, Reaper, they can. So, Fold Reality is your risky play on pink horrors, in my opinion.
Or flamers.
Or flamers. So you can only ever bring back a maximum of 6. Menacing Fence, thanks for subscribing. So you can only ever bring back 6 max, and it's between 1 and 6 is what you're going to roll, and you can wipe out... Oh, no, you can't even bring back 1. If you roll 1, they're dead. But it's a cool play. And
So it's sometimes I've done it in the past on Skyfires or Enlightened. It's like I've got one dude left on 1 wound. I might as well try. I'll get something back.
I put it straight into my game plan. Like, it's not going to work all the time, but...
Yeah. Oh, it was the spell I always took. Sometimes took it twice just in case.
Yeah. I mean, not forgetting that the pink horrors have still got the banner, roll a 1, get D6 back.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of stuff there. Old Infusion was good on Thermitage when it was +1 to hit and wound. I agree. Okay, now battalions. Yeah? Okay, so let's go. So you've got the... I'm just going to start at number 1 now.
Oh,
Sorry.
starting off with the Golden Door.
Well, because there are a lot of battalions.
Yeah, okay.
Can I just say, man who writes book is my new personal hero, because there are some mega battalions, yeah, and which the Arcanite cult, and he's just written under it, "Who cares?"
It's true, don't they? They go all this time writing this book. You need like a 6,000 point army just to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
Well, why are they writing it? I don't get it.
Because you're like, what are you collected? I've collected an arcane cult.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on my shelf. It's for completionists.
What about this then? On that, just taking it.
It's a sales pitch.
What about this then? What about the Path to Glory? What's that?
The whole Path to Glory thing?
Yeah.
Listen, there are 2 people who play Path to Glory and they fucking love it. Yeah. The fact that we have to always skip the Path to Glory bit.
But it's even in the army bit, isn't it? It's not like
everywhere. Everything. I'm like, oh, that looks wicked. Oh, fucking Path to Glory, you fucker. Yeah. And it's like, would you like to play this battle plan? I'm like, no.
But it's like within the army setup, isn't it? It's I feel like it's being forced upon me to read or just get in the way.
Do you know who's playing Path to Glory right now?
Some idiot.
2 fucking crackheads who are listening to this like, Path to Glory! No teeth. Yeah, they're just having the best time. Yeah, because they're not even playing with models.
No,
just tin cans.
They don't need models. They're just thinking about it.
They're like, we're on our own Path to Glory. The Honest Wargamer does not advocate the use of crack. Okay.
Apart from bum crack. Hi guys.
Hi guys.
I'm here a week.
Hi geese. Right. Let's look at the battalions. You got Zangor Coven, 2 units of Zangor, 2 units of Zangor Enlightened. Note, not on discs. 2 units.
How many points is Zangor on foot? Like, they should be about 50 points. Zangor Enlightened on foot. I'm gonna look while you
look for me.
I'm gonna look.
Please, thank you.
They should be about 50, but they're probably going to be about like 150, aren't they? Enlightened, yeah.
Oh, it's called the Path of Glory.
All right.
Not the Path to Glory.
All right. Grammar Nazi. What did I say? Hand of Glory.
Oh yeah. Doug will be playing Path to Glory.
Oh,
I
Doug.
want everyone to know that I'm not calling Doug a crackhead.
I am. Have you ever met Doug? I have.
No, but he did threaten to punch me once and then sent me $100 because because the Norwegians broke my cameras. So I love him and I love him because both of those things are respected in equal measure. How much are they? Enlightened on foot?
100 points.
Fucking idiots.
Hey, listen. Gain a wound and.
Right, I'm not talking about Zangor.
Whoa. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Right, Sky Shoal Coven. You like this? 2 units of Enlightened on disc. 2 units of Skyfires. The ability. After a unit from this battalion makes a normal move, you can pick one enemy unit that has any models passed across by that friendly unit and roll a dice. On a 2+, deal D3 mortal wounds.
Great.
Moving on. Witchfire Coven. Right? Don't worry, we're going back to our Acolytes. Get in there. Yeah, you're like, okay.
Min-maxim.
I've got 30 naked dudes. No, I've got 90 naked dudes. There's the Zangor behind them.
You spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah, you have spent a lot of money on this.
And actually, because you've got 90, they come in boxes of 20. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You've got to buy a 5th box and only use half the 5th box. So
you're in a nightmare situation. You're probably just going to take the extra 10 just because at this stage. So 3 units of Carrick Acolytes. Oh, you're not, unfortunately. 1 unit of Zangor Enlightened. Okay. Once per turn in your hero phase, pick 1 Carrick Acolyte unit in this battalion. That unit can shoot. Let's moving on. That gets a 0 out of 5 rating from the kids at home.
I'm going to give it 1.
You can give it a 1?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The Ultikin Coven. 1 unit of Carrick Acolytes, sadly. 1 unit of Zangors, fantastic. Yeah, 1 unit of Zangor Skyfires. Now you're talking about language. At the end of the charge phase, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of a unit in this battalion. On a 6, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If any models are slain by this, add 1 Zangor model to an existing Zangor unit. Set up that model within 1 inch of a friendly unit that's within 9 inches of the slain model. Can't stop me now. What do you think of that? have you ever thought, do you know what I really need? I want to just add 1 Zangor to a unit. I don't know anything else, just 1 Zangor.
How many points is it?
The Ulti King Coven. Oh, God, I'm going to have to go over there. The Ulti King Coven is 140 points.
Nice.
Okay, now battalions are fantastic. If anyone's listening at home, a battalion is worth at least 100 points because you get a command point and you get an artifact.
Yeah.
Both of which are worth at least 50 points each. So you're paying 40 points for that. And you're also low in your drops.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. Arcanite Cabal. I used to love this. 3 to 9 units of any combination. Fate Master, Magister, or Zangor Shaman. After armies are set up, before the battle round begins, pick 1 model in this battalion. For the rest of the battle, each time you spend a Destiny dice to replace a roll for that model, roll a dice on a 2+, replace 1 of your remaining Destiny dice for that roll. So it's rubbish. It used to be great. It used to be an extra cast.
You did, but I think you got the Destiny dice back on a 4+.
You did.
So it has a bit, but they all could get.
It's also lost the ability to have all of them have an extra cast.
Yeah.
Which was what was great about it.
Yeah, but you never saw it anyway.
I used to play it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't. Apparently you played dwarfs. They didn't exist anyway, so you didn't play dwarfs. So I don't know what you've been doing for your whole life.
Okay. How's the Twitch chat doing, Mark? Are they all right?
How the what?
How's the Twitch chat doing? Are they okay? I cut the Path of Glory pages out of the books as a limited flame. And by the way, if you watch for a certain amount of time, you generate reward points for the show. It's a new thing Twitch have introduced, and so Unlimited Blame has spent his reward points to just highlight that exact message. Vangela says, does it specify a Zangor model on foot? No, but Zangor models are So if you're talking about enlightened, not on foot, but Skyfires, for example, they don't say Zangor, they say Zangor enlightened. So they don't have Zangor comma. So there's no way.
It's not a key word you're looking at.
Yeah, so you won't be able to get them back. Although enlightened on foot, I honestly don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Why can't you have Skyfires on foot? I don't understand. Why?
When I play, as I said, Rob used to play everything. Yeah, because the past is when I played it. In the future, I'm going to play Tzeentch. And also Flamespire Phoenixes, because they're the best ever. .tm. Four Flamespire Phoenixes. Ask me what that is.
It's 4 birds.
Oh yeah, 4 hot birds, 4 chicken wings. That's what I'm rocking. Yeah, I'm like the KFC of Age of Sigmar armies. That's what I'm going to be. Yeah, there's one right there, built and ready.
Not lying.
Woo!
That's right. I'll just play you against my Plague Touch, and you'll cry.
I can't cry. Not since 2019.
Is that because you went to
the loss of Harambe. Anyway, so the Aether Eater host. This is 1 Herald on Burning Chariot, which I know you're going to be excited about. 3 to 8 units in any combination of Blue Scribes, Herald on Burning Chariot, Herald on Disc, or Screamers. If a friendly unit from the battalion unbinds a spell, heal D3 wounds that unit. In addition, 1 Screamers unit from this battalion can attempt to unbind 1 spell. Hashtag, never mind.
That's a poo door, isn't it?
It is. Okay, so the 2 that... Oh, yeah, I intentionally missed several, actually. So we've still got loads to go. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Told you, 3 in the morning.
Kairos Fate Weaver, 3 Lords of Change. You can reroll hit, wound, and save rolls of 1 for units in this battalion, which you can't fit, I don't think, inside 2,000 points.
Do you know what? What's so upsetting about this battalion is it's got so much exciting potential. What does it do?
Terrible ability.
Oh, you got 4 of the greatest wizards to ever exist in the.
Like things that like have all these aeon-long plans and machinations.
What can you do? Oh, you got a couple of combat dice you can reroll. Do you want to be in combat? No, I'll just die in combat. What? I read that. I was like, surely he must be reading the old book.
No.
Man who reads book. He's been reading the old book. He got a bit confused. He saw the Path of Glory section and thought,
he's just in there still, just running down there. Right, the Overseer's...
You can fit it, apparently.
The Overseer's Fate Twisters, 1 Lord of Change, 8 units in any combination of Horror Heroes, Exalted Flamers, or Burning Chariots. At the start of your hero phase, if 1 or more units from the battalion are on the battlefield, roll a dice and add it to your Destiny dice. In addition, at the start of your hero phase, if the Lord of Change is on the battlefield, you can re-roll 1 of your Destiny dice. So it's good. If you wanted to include all of those things in your army, then it's a good way of...
It's kind of possible.
Yeah, I don't know how much that one is. Overseer's Fate Twisters, 160 points. Maybe.
It's one of those ones where...
Probably not, though.
You could... I mean, you add, I don't know, points wise, add a bunch of models in that unit plus your, I don't know, 2 pink horrors, and then at that point you've got a 3-drop.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't read out the other ones yet. I'll read them out in.
Are we now hitting the golden doors?
We're hitting the golden. Yeah, so I did jib you with the anyway. Eat a host. 1 Herald on Burning Chariot, your favourite at this stage. 3 to 8 units in any combination of Blue Scribes, Herald on Burning Chariot, Herald on Disc, or Screamers. Oh no, I've read that one. Sorry. The Multitudinous Host.
Yeah.
1 Herald of Tzeentch, 8 units of Horrors of Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Not forgetting you can buy Brims and Blues separate for cheaper. At the start of your hero phase, you can return D3 slain Horrors models to each friendly Horrors unit from this battalion. Roll separately. Which is kind of interesting because if you have 7 pink Horrors die, you've got 14 blue Horrors, so you can always be trying to add those pink Horrors back in.
Yeah.
So they are worth more because they're worth... For each one you get back, that's 2 blue
3
Horrors and 2 Brimstone Horrors. So it's 5 models you get back a turn.
Do you get 2? Yeah, sorry.
So that's quite interesting. However, the Change Host is 1 Lord of Change. They're pretty good. 8 units in any combination of Horror Heroes. They're pretty good. Exalted Flamers. Pretty good. Horrors. Pretty good. Flamers. Pretty good. Screamers. Also good. Burning Chariots. Interesting. At the start of your hero phase, If the Lord of Change is your general and on the battlefield, you can pick 2 other units in the battalion and remove them from the field. If you do so, set up those units again anywhere on the battlefield, more than 9 inches away from the enemy. The units you set up cannot move in the following movement phase. So just redeploy infinite deep strike. And that is your battle line unit in your horrors or flamers. Or your screamers. And it's also got your Lord of Change in. And the Lord of Change is so good because the command ability for plus to cast, his spell is incredibly good, and also flipping the dice. And the Change Host is a 180 point battalion, which is a 1-drop.
Yeah.
All in deep
Demon
striking army. So it's when you finally get there and you go, oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting you say the deep striking. You effectively get 2 deep strikes per turn. So how many armies can cast a spell to redeploy? Slave of Darkness can do it. They can redeploy 1 with a spell.
But why is it like Pete's saying in the chat? Like, if we look at the Gits book, like, what's really interesting over this year is we've seen some very clear indications of what they're intending. Very small battalions that are very cheap, 80 points, 120 points. Nothing really that's bridged that. And then you're like, where can I get to? They're like, I can get down to a 2-drop, not even a 2-drop. Like, I can get down to a 4-drop. If we look at the Cities of Sigmar, like, they're like a 4-drop list. You're like, cool. Like, the Uruks are able to get down to like, they can get down to like a 2-drop. But they've got. But then this book seems super odd, or the Change Host. It's only the Change Host really seems super odd because it's such an all-encompassing battalion that's a 1-drop immediately with all of the things that you want in. The book feels like it was completely designed around all the demons, which is great because they're really thematic. I like how different the horrors are to the flamers are to the screamers. I think that's wicked. And to the Lord of Change. They're all very different pieces, which is cool. But then you look at the Change Host battalion, you're like, okay. And you look at the Host Duplicitors. So,
Are you just going back to the, I'll go back to the original comment of, you've got like this, this is if you want to play competitive, this is what you take. If you want a bit of fun, where on a 6 you get a Zangor, that's what you take, because that's your fluffy one. Is it an actual design?
Oh, so you think it might be, there's the inference that it might be a design mechanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a, without wanting to sort of like either sound negative or whingy or something like that, is it a design? Purposeful? Or is it, my cynical mind will say, they've clearly spent more time trying to fix the Change Host because they've put a lot of time and effort into it because they've made it very different. Whereas the Ether one, the one where you can heal D3 wounds and stop a spell, well, that was the same in the old book. Nobody took it then, so why have they not concentrated on the ones people don't take?
Yes.
And that's how I would address it. Unless the idea was look, nobody really takes it. It's just a bit of fluff. And this is the one you take.
So now the Change Host is not as bad because the pink horrors can't do the endless spells, which is where I think it was deeply abusive. But it doesn't.
And they can only do their one spell. They can't do Arcane Bolt.
They can, but I can still put a unit of flamers 9 inches away. I put a block of 12 flamers 9 inches away.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to, or I can put a block of 20 pink horrors in front of your army, and then some flamers behind them, and then you can smash through the pinks and just their blues and brims, and now you can't retreat right where you are, and then I can just hit you with flamers. Or I don't even have to do that. Like, I could just flood you with horrors. But it's an expensive battalion. You've got to take the Lord of Change, so already like you're talking 600 points.
Yeah.
Then you've got to get all the other stuff in that you want. But I think it's a bit like, it's definitely not going to play the Change Host that we've known in the past year, where it's going to be all the under spells right in your face.
Because the other thing you've got to think about, the previous Change Host was doing that long, like, I move them in the hero phase, then cast a spell to do the long range, whatever spell, D6 mortal wounds. They clearly can't do that now.
No. No. So someone's saying,
so when do they move, in the hero phase or the
hero phase?
Okay, so they can do that.
So this unit, pink horrors. This unit is a wizard. While it has 9 or more pink horrors, it can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase and unbind 1 spell. It knows the channel pink fire spell. It cannot attempt to cast any spells other than channel pink fire, but any number of horrors of Tzeentch units that have 9 or more pink horrors can attempt to cast channel pink horror fire in the same hero phase. So you can try and cast it multiple times.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't have to take Change Host, nor do you have to take the Host Duplicitous. I really like the idea of the Screamers, to be honest. Screamers and Flamers, I think I'd like to look around that. But you can't get around the fact that both the Screamers and Flamers will die if you touch them with anything.
Yeah.
So you need some chaff, and then you start looking at them pink horrors, and you're like, I want you to explode into some sexy chaff.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, you can't retreat, and I can control the board. Yeah. It's rad. It's pretty fragile, though. Like,
well, no, yeah, that's the when I played the Change Host versus when I did the mirror matchup, when I had my 20 Zangor, 6 Skyfires, all the Change horrors and all that lot, the Change Host just didn't have enough sort of durability versus my army, because it didn't have, the more wound output would hurt it, but not hurt it enough because the Zangor could just take it all on the chin. So that's what you have to consider. They can be potentially quite fragile, because when you get into combat, they're not really doing much.
And we haven't talked about all the other potential things that you can put in there. For instance, you've got Archeon, Big Baddie himself, can be in this army. Yeah. He can be getting +1 save. He can be completing agendas. Yeah. He's a wizard, so he can be casting all these spells. That's a pretty great choice.
-1 to hit.
Yeah. -1 to hit, 'cause he's got the demon keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now he's just like terrifying. You're like, okay, sweet. You can block stuff up. You could either have Flamers back him up, or you could have horrors on the board.
It's interesting. I still think Archeon actually still needs that support. I know his Wolf Scrolls got up and gone a lot better. But I've had a year's worth of playing with him, and he was still fragile with his 20 wounds and the 3-up save.
Yeah.
So for him to actually work, you still a bit like the Khorne. The Khorne effectively lets him fight twice, and reroll 1s, which he doesn't get in the Slaves of Darkness book. So to get Archeon probably worth it, because he's now had a points increase. You probably need these extras to make him worth it. Otherwise, I think he struggles.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. As an experienced player, I'll take your word for it. I think, but there's loads of stuff in here. Obviously, we've talked about the Gaunt Summoner from Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah.
There's all of the stuff already from. You've got the Fate Sworn Warband. You've got the Beasts of Chaos that you can also put into this Tzeentch book as well.
Yeah, I was talking to a bunch of mates, and actually, like the Slaves of Darkness book, is it a book just to make the other demon books stronger? So I noticed in the chat people were talking about, when we made comments about Tzeentch have got all of these combat weapons, which they can't use because they don't have combat. But actually, Slaves of Darkness do have a couple of combat dudes. The new big dude with the axe, make one of those magic weapon. I don't know. There's potential there to look at, because you can turn all of the Slaves of Darkness, or most of the Slaves of Darkness, into Tzeentch as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think potentially, but I think unfortunately, most of the things apart from Marauders that you can give any keywords to really fall down unless you go in all the way in with Slaves to Darkness when you move it into these books, because this book seems like it's super geared towards pink horrors, a Lord of Change. I mean, Kairos is fantastic in this. Now the Changeling is decent. I think all that element is good, but I think the abusive part, or the competitive part that we're going to see is horrors being used to tie units up, potentially being changed as hosts, maybe not, but that ability to control the first turn because of a 1-drop. I mean, why? I would love to know why that's still a decision. Because it's been clear, it's like, right, we're gonna, and also, can we talk about the fact that the rerolls are back? I banged on. I was like, well done, Games Workshop. You've got your Iron Jaws. You just give them +1 to hit, +1 to wound. You're sorted. You're like, all right, cool, yeah. And then City Sigma, -1 to wound, +1 to wound. You're like, all right, sweet. You're back there. That's where we're at. Slave Darkness has got a lot of that as well. There's not a lot of rerolls in Slave Darkness. Then the Tzeentch book, and you're like, reroll alls to hit and to wound. You're like, oh, okay. That's a lot, and that's on. Or reroll to cast. There's a lot of rerolls in this book. There's not a lot of. There's a lot of it.
There's a lot of security. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, but it's also a different design, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
You've had the past 3 books, our most recent books, that have all had pluses to hit, minuses to hit, pluses to wound, minuses to wound, as a way to even stuff out. Or maybe that's just because they're being really rude to Ironjaw's players. They're like, oh, you guys count in and re-roll in, that's hard. We'll just give you... Can you add your numbers together, boys?
I don't know. Counting might be hard for Ironjaws. Counting's they'll struggle.
Apparently, I've been told that I'm on crack and there's a lot of re-rolls and Slaves to Darkness.
I was sitting here thinking, actually, yeah, they're kind of this. Actually, they've got a lot of Khorne can do +1 to wound.
That's Khorne.
Nurgle.
Oh, in Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I know Marauders got re-rolls.
So the Sorcerer Lord can just look at you and give you reroll armor saves. His spell gets you reroll hits and wounds.
Yeah, all right, fair point. Never mind. Maybe it's a chaos thing then. Maybe is there a lot in Khorne? There's obviously a lot in Slaanesh. There's a lot in Skaven. I wonder if they've got interestingly they've got different Grand Alliance themes.
Maybe
+1 to hit. Vangelis says Change Host with Be'lakor, maybe the Demon Fire Rift 2, make your opponent regret
can't be Be'lakor can't be Tzeentch. I guess you can just add him in. He's not in.
Slaves to Darkness, isn't he? Be'lakor.
Yeah.
So you can ally him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I don't know how many points Be'lakor is.
It's 240.
240. Anyway. So what do you think overall? Twitch chat, Mark, what do you think? Let's go see what the guys in the chat were saying. We've had a lot of votes, and this book is top tier. The answer is yes, 75% on our poll. I'm interested in what everyone also at home thinks. What do you think?
I see a potentially fragile army relying on the -1 to be hit. Army with nothing beyond really a 5+ save. So I'm seeing fragility and expensive units. Or cheaper units but with 6 wounds.
And obviously you could get armor saves if you wanted to add Mortal, Slave to Darkness, like Warriors or Knights in.
But Mortal Wound output seems to be the same. It just seems to be a better, it's going back to that, Khorne are on their 3rd book, right? And I've always banged on about how good that book is.
Yeah.
And so this is the 2nd one for Tzeentch. The rules are a bit more tightened up. The old book had all funky shenanigans which made your head blow up a little bit, i.e. Changeling. This all seems to be a lot tighter. The blue horrors and the pink horrors, they've all gone through loads of different carnations of rules and how they work and stuff like that. Summoning points, no summoning points, all that lot. So now, it's pretty tight on the rules. Whether or not it's top tier,
I think it is. So I think
I worry that it's an expensive army with not a huge model count apart from Brims, but it's got a low armor save and will die.
Well, interestingly, the coolest part, the reason I'm attracted to Tzeentch is the pink horror mechanic. I'm really happy it stayed to a degree because, and like Pete's saying in the chat,
pretty iconic.
Yeah, it's super. If you put down 30 pink horrors as an example, which is 60 points, yeah, what that actually is 60 blue horrors and another 60 brimstone horrors.
Yeah.
So as a wound count, it's 150 wounds for 600 points.
Yeah.
Now I agree they don't have any save. But because you have to kind of deal with them piecemeal, yeah. If you wipe out all the pinks, because they individually go in, it's quite hard to get rid of those units more than you necessarily think. And then if you think about the fact that you Gaunt Summoner in, just think about it. I Gaunt Summoner in 3 Gaunt Summoners for 3 sets.
There's definitely shenanigans, and I think it's and I like the fact the pinks are really key for the shenanigans to work.
But I think also, as you pointed out, I think they need stuff to hold stuff up.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily have those. They do have Skyfires. They've got big punch units that could go and really commit some damage. But could they go through a unit of? Could those 6 Skyfires go through a block of Fire Slayers? No way ever. Do they have anything in this book that could go through the Fire Slayers? I don't think so. So what you have to ask yourself is how do they deal with it? And I think hold them in place, just raining crap on them could be quite interesting. I actually think the book is really well designed. I think it's really unfortunate that they've decided to include Change Host and it's one drop nature. I think that's the only thing I think I'm really excited about. I would like to do anything other than Change Host. I think I'd like to run all the Screamers and all the Flamers.
The interesting thing is, I think people do end up, especially on the, I can't speak for other countries, but on the English tournament scene, I think you saw a decline in the, like, I'm using this as an example, a decline in Daughters of Cain, because people just got bored playing with them and against them. And, like, how many people do you actually see playing Daughters of Cain? They're still super strong. Mm-hmm. And the meta, they still work well in the meta. So, but people just stop playing with them because they're just boring. Right. So I wonder whether or not you might have a, if the Change Host is too good, you have a similar outcome.
I didn't say that. I think it's too good. I think that remains to be seen. I think that seems like to be the immediate path to victory in the book. But I still think there are some really interesting other choices. And I think especially if you take a lot of like the top picks out at the minute, like what do you think could potentially be quite scary? Like because we're in such an exciting time now. Like because we've had a really interesting kind of like tail off. So, the game started to wind down. We saw Iron Jaws and Free Cities Cities of Sigmar come out, and we saw quite a few tournaments, and we saw Iron Jaws do well and Cities of Sigmar do well. But, it's only really a couple of months to start generating that data. Then we had OBR come out, and we had more tribes come out, and it's Christmas, so there's no tournament, so we don't really get like an idea. Then we're straight into Slaves to Darkness. Now, with the tournament season just about to kick off again, we've got 2 new Battletomes. So you're going into CanCon in 20 days. Yeah, world's largest Age of Sigmar tournament. With effectively 5 new Battletomes shaking up the game, leading into Light Elves, Seraphon. Like, the game feels completely fresh. And all the threats that are out there, like, because you're going to have to deal with Stonehorns. You're going to have to deal with Nagash, who can't die. Which is the worst. Have you played against that yet?
What, in OBR?
Yeah.
No.
He just casts the spell and he's like, I'm immortal. Fuck off. Like, it's the worst. Stonehorns are amazing.
That whole book, I haven't played against it to know how to beat it, but part of me just doesn't even want to play against it.
Well, there's an interesting thing about the Obar book, because everyone's like, Petrifex is the way, but if Tzeentch is the powerhouse it's going to be, then you could ignore a lot of those spells by going Null Myriad, but a lot of the spells that I don't think they're really... I don't think the spells in the Tzeentch book is what... The spells are going to take out the key pieces. Mm. It's going to be the horrors and the flamers that are going to take out the army, I think. But we'll see whether or not that pans out to be true. But, so, those Slaves to Darkness, you're going to have to deal with Nurgle from Slaves to Darkness. That's going to be awful to deal with. And now you've got Tzeentch. Change Host is all the way here. Yeah. New and improved with a whole bunch of new options. Gaunt Summoner's in there. Like, you thought there was a lot of pinks before.
See, the interesting thing is... We
haven't even talked about the fact that you've got fate points. Are you going to generate more pinks?
Yeah. See, the interesting thing with all of that is it's really good reading the books and, like, understanding... But until you actually put an army down on the table and see the size of it, that's when I reserve judgment. Sometimes when I write armies... I write them up and I think, this is a really cool idea. I can do this, this, and this, and I've got these 4 units which can do this and this. I put it down on the table and I go, that's shit. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
So sometimes I actually go, I've written this army. It looks really cool. I really like it. I'm going to put it on my table, on my painting desk, and see what it looks like. And I'm like, that's sort of like where I've started writing my lists, and because I just think that really gauges like how well it is. Like you could have these big units of horrors that are just summoning and doing all these shenanigans, but if all you've got is like 2 units of horrors and a couple of characters to back it up, and if that's all you've got, I know it isn't. I know you'll have more than that, but if that's all you've got, and it's like they're not that as good as you think. So until you see it on the battlefield, that's when I think you can make your mind up.
Yeah, no, I agree, which is why I'm excited about the coverage at CanCon. I'm excited about all the coverage next year, and I'm looking forward to it all. I think this book's decent. I can't wait to read the story, see if they've like pimped it out a little bit. But I like that they've, for me personally, I like that they've done good to the demon part of it.
Yeah, it needed it.
And Mortals is just the Carricks. It's very different to the Khorne book where the Mortals got absolutely left in the dirt, and you're like, why? Like, just ridiculous.
But even at that, is it, even though I say Khorne is still like a really, really good book, even at that, it's still got massive flaws to it.
Yeah.
Even though I do hold it in such high regard. So every book.
Save Starters book.
No, sorry, the Corn.
Right.
The Corn book. Even though I say it's a really good book, I still there's certain aspects of it I'm really critical of, but it's a really big book. So even though you can poke holes in books, sometimes you just need to give the time for these books to be written, and Rome wasn't built in a day, and things will hopefully always get a little bit better. Every new book, the rules will just be tightened up, and
one day you'll see an Eidolon of Sea on the tabletop, and we will all smile.
Yeah, and we'll go, wow, these are quite good, aren't they?
Yeah. So O Reaper says, I call that the table check, by the way. When he gets his army out and puts it on the tabletop, he calls it a table check. But if anyone's read the workbook, I do suggest actually just getting your army out on the tabletop. That's why I always have a visual in my head. It's why I am obsessed, Mark. Literally fucking obsessed. In fact, arguably angry that people aren't taking Untamed Beasts in their Chaos armies. Like, literally fucking livid. They're like, yeah, I spent these 300 points on this screen. And I'm like, you could take one 90-point unit and just do it. And they're like, oh, no, man. Like, I'm not 100% certain about that. I'm like, literally do that one thing. Yeah. They're like, I need to be a 3-drop. I'm like, why don't you just scout and then no one can fucking hurt you? They're like, but what will I do? I'm like, just do the thing.
Is that the one they move D6?
No, not D6, 6.
Yes.
Just 6. Win the game. Everyone's like, listen, Rob, it's too complicated. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, not even complicated. They're like, shut up, dickhead. I don't want to take it. I'm like, fine, if that's how you're going to be. But I think especially in Tzeentch, if you were wanting to go somewhere different, that Untamed Beast 6-inch scout move, which you can also do with Gore, if you wanted to as well, but that ability to give yourself some distance so that you could do your summoning, give yourself some ball control, but not be that 1-drop. You might be able to create some. I
think I always think about this because my Plague Touch I'm running is a 2-drop, and I think how many people do a 1-drop nowadays? I don't think 1-drops are as common as they used to.
We thought they were going out. We thought that was no longer going to be the thing.
Yeah, I don't think there are going to be many 1-drops.
No, there's literally going to be one scary 1-drop. Iron Jaws can do a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even at that, even sometimes they don't even do a 1-drop. But even at that, there's very few. Whereas before, it was like I need to get down to a 1-drop. It was so vitally important. But now you don't.
Well, I've always gone the other way. I've always just gone cool, like because when you're going for a race to the bottom, you're having to make sacrifices. So I'm gone cool. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna be like 42 drops. Like it's gonna just put whatever the fuck I want out.
So sometimes it can just win you games.
The 1-drop?
Yeah.
I think yes. I think it's quite scary with the
just having that control every turn.
The bridge, which is why the scout move's so big. Big fan. Anyway, you have an event coming up?
I do. It's not coming up. It's in July.
That's in the future.
It is in the future. Coming up.
Like all the armies I used to play, which were in the past, which is why I used the past tense.
Yes, I've got an event coming up. I did a podcast, which is coming out soon.
Congratulations.
With Priority Roll, with Sexy Dan. Mm-hmm. July 18th and 19th, Leicester.
That's a long time to wait for a podcast. And you can only listen to it in Leicester.
Yes, the city centre. As soon as you go outside the boundaries of the city centre, you're not listening to it.
Tell me, go on.
Yes, AOS, 100 players, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed. Standard sort of like tournament setup. I've got some shenanigans that you know about, which we're not telling anybody about. I told Dan about it as well. So actually, the people, there's 4
What's
people.
The date again?
18th, 19th of July.
Okay.
Put it in your diary now.
Literally, I'm doing it right now.
Because I've bought the hotel room for us.
Is it called War in the Warlords or something?
War in the Heartlands. Because it is the Heartlands of the UK.
Okay. I'm gonna now, because so this is like a brand new tournament, 100 people. You're organising it. You previously organised the Age of Sigmar tournament of Blood and Glory. Mm-hmm. So I've got a question to ask you, which is important.
Yeah.
Like, what is it with the naming conventions of Warhammer tournaments, man? Like, all of you are like, let's have a war. Like, why can't you like Party in the Beasts?
Do you know what? I it was hard. it was really hard to think of a name. I wanted to do something stupid,
Right.
like dickheads play games.
What you think War in the Heartlands is not stupid?
Oh, it is stupid. It is stupid. But it was like, do you go stupid, or do you go, I am like Heralds of Sigmar? It's like, oh, Games Workshop.
You literally almost insult Heralds of War podcast.
Nearly.
Another Australian show.
I believe actually I suggested Heralds of War, and then Liam was like, I think that there's a way we're doing like that. I was like, okay. But yeah, you're right. I mean, but I kind of wanted to do something stupid, but that was suggested not as a great idea as a first time outing. But yeah, it was a decision made. And,
Okay. All right, listen,
and
I haven't named an event. Well, that's not true, I have. But, like, I haven't named an event that's currently...
No.
People are currently aware of. So, I was just wondering where you went with it. Like, you just named out the hat, dartboard...
I had a WhatsApp of 4 people, and we were just throwing random shit out. I was like, what the hell are we going to call it? And it was like, okay, so where are we? Where's the event going to be? Leicester. Okay, what does Leicester mean? Has it got any like
According
funky...
to my Swedish friend Jonathan, shithole.
Yeah. This is true. Knife to the Heartlands. Nice. And it was just like, we're in Heartland.
See, you should have just come on here and been like, I need a name for my event. Because that's already way better than Knife to the Heartlands. Yeah, this is Age of Sigmar scenario. That's so clever.
Quite right, actually.
Well done, O Reaper.
Oh, fuck it. It's done now. Shut up.
All right, fine.
It's done.
Okay.
But listen, I've got lots of exciting things planned.
Right.
More importantly, which I'm more excited for, my friend who I work with, an Indian lady.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Who's going to do us an Indian feast.
Listen,
I'm so excited about the food more than anything
on
else.
their head. Like, if you've ever been to an Indian wedding, have you?
No.
Right, I've been to several. Yeah, interesting life. But the point is they're like, oh, what? You got 800 people at your wedding? No problem. You could ring up an Indian,
Totally.
You could ring up an Indian caterer the day before, be like, got 800 people at my wedding tomorrow. They'd be like, cool. What time do you want us? 3:30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. She says, "I'll do this for you." She says,
Not sure you can do that on the
"Yeah, I
telly.
do. I do. Yeah, no. I do it to her face. I told her she needed to go home the other day
Why?
because we voted Brexit." She said, "I'm going home to Leicester." Good, go home.
Oh my god.
Oh, she is.
Back up the show.
The important thing is, we like that. Me and our Zainab, I love her to bits.
Yeah.
And she said, I can do your dinner for you, your food, and so I'm more excited about the Indian feast on the Saturday of the event than anything else. I'm so excited for it because it's going to be like proper. You know, like you go to a curry house, you get a korma, or you'll get like a tikka masala. None of that stuff. It'll be all proper Indian stuff
With chai roti.
She'll just bring food.
Okay, good. So the food's good. You're excited about the food?
I'm excited about that. There will be some games, some shenanigans.
I really enjoy the difference. Can I just point this out? I really enjoy the difference between because I was also talking to WS Capitan 10, El Capitan 10 earlier on, and he was telling me about the WS team tournament.
Yeah.
The Honest Wargamer might be sending a team to, and he was just like, food includes a curry, and I'm like, sweet. So all the events in the Midlands include a curry. Bloodshed in the Shire, they were like, stone baked pizzas, lads. Tavern cafes like stone baked pizzas. Get yourself a vegan mocha, draft beer, yeah. And in Scotland, they're like pie chips
and some heroin.
No, I don't read.
You're never going to want me on this show again, are you? Racism, bigotry.
Love drug taking.
And drug taking.
All right. Well, it sounds fun. We're doing the coverage, right?
You are.
Yes. So
I've booked you a hotel room and everything. And it's actually we're sharing an Airbnb,
which
so
is why I just wrote it down in my diary right
I'm
now.
glad.
And you can check out the Honest Wargamers live calendar. It's on our Twitter and Facebook at the minute with some of the events we have coming up. Please do join us for those events. We've got some very cool new features at CanCon. If you would like to help us at CanCon, there's currently also, if you'd like to buy my Chaos Dwarf army, I'm trying to sell it so that I can buy a new camera for CanCon. So if anyone's interested, as of today, please message me on Twitter. But apart from that, you should join us for all the live coverage because it's going to be hopefully the best you've ever
Especially the live coverage in July.
seen. Yes, or or let me just go through my quick list. The Sheffield Slaughter, which is also happening very soon.
That is.
Yeah, which is happening. Also, we're doing a 40k event in Wales on the 15th and 16th of February. We're also, me and Nathan are going over to Brisbane to play Brishammer in April. At the Brishammer GT. In May, there's both the Summer Bobo and we're going to the Honest Wargamer. We're going to Umir in Sweden for an Age of Sigmar event as well. In June, we got the Six Nations coverage with Pete Pratt, who's organising that. That's going to be...
Where Six Nations being held?
Six Nations being held in Northern Ireland, in Bangor. And we're going to have a camera. So on one match, so let's say when Scotland play Wales, we'll have a camera on every one of the matchups. So you guys might not know how team tournaments work, but it'll be... it's 8 players at Six Nations. Is that right? I think it's 8. But either way,
I think it is.
But we'll have a camera on each table, and we'll be jumping between all the tables and giving you a live update of what's happening in that single round. And obviously, at the end of the round, we'll this team has won their match again, or whatever it is. But I'm very, very excited about that. It's one of our benchmark moments in the year where I think that'll be like an incredibly fun day. Also, you can wear your jerseys, your team
t-shirt,
Team Scotland t-shirt, where you get your colours on, get the lads round. Just explain to the missus it's a lot like the World Cup, only cooler.
Yeah.
The men are as attractive. Anyway, so that June the 13th and 14th, so join us for that, which is going to be really good. And then in July, War in the Heartlands, unfortunately.
Wow. Ticket sales are going to be on the 24th of July. January, sorry. I keep doing that. Everyone's like, do I have to buy the ticket after I put that on the Facebook group? There is a Facebook group as well, which you can join if you search. But I put my first post on it. It was like, you can buy your tickets on the 24th of July. And everyone's like, can I buy my tickets after the event's gone then? I was like, oh, damn it. Just spelling mistakes left, right and centre.
Diadrin's just asked when his tickets sale for Knife to the Heartland. I want you to know that I will not call it anything other than that for the rest of my life now.
It's fine. Call it what you want. I don't care what you call it.
As long as you go.
As long as you give me money.
Right, okay, wow. There we go.
At least I'm honest about it.
Yeah, okay, good.
Because I'm on the honest wargamer.
Finger guns all day long. Right, okay, so if you've enjoyed the review, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Mark, thanks for helping me with it.
It's all right.
Appreciate that. The KO one will be coming soon. I want to say thank you to everyone on the Twitch chat who's been here. You guys are wicked. Thank you to everyone on the Wargamer Patreon, anyone who subscribes or supports the show. If you are live right now or interested, join me tomorrow. I'll be talking to the lovely Alex Ghostarm. We'll be talking about the Verminal Warpnor. We're going to be doing a rundown on that tomorrow. And obviously I'll be live all week, so please do join us. And on Thursday, we've got a live 40k match here in the studio.
I'm going to do that in a few weeks, aren't I?
You are.
Or is that a secret?
Never mind. It's too late now.
It's
You
out.
say it, so
Can we cut that bit of the recording out?
it's kind of how it works. Kind of how it doesn't. And all the podcast listeners who are staying hydrated right now, stay hydrated, will tell you that I definitely cut nothing out, and it pisses them the fuck off.
Just got to be careful. Or just own it. Just own what you say. It's okay. It's okay to be racist. It's okay
No, it's
to
not.
be bigotry.
It's
not okay to enjoy crack.
That's all sarcasm. We have to go now. But Mark, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you to everyone on the Wargamer. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Ciao.